It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice. Across from me on the board doing his thing per usual is our guy CB. And to my left, I got a former Buckeye wide receiver and a Grey Cup MVP by the name of DeVier Posey. Depot, happy Thursday, my man. How we feeling today? How you doing?
What's up, Matty Ice? And what's up, Columbus? And honestly, Thursdays are big days for me. It's game day.
Oh, it's game day.
It's game
What
day.
are we doing today? What we got going on?
I got my adult basketball league, my recreational league. So
okay.
I'm getting hydrated today because it's very warm. It's very warm. So for me, I got to get right. I got to get all of the water and electrolytes.
Okay. We carb it up at all? We're getting some carbs in there too?
I'm gonna have an early lunch and a late dinner post game.
I like that. I like that you take it serious. I can see the focus in your eyes, the determination in your eyes, because there has to be something on the line. I'm assuming with you looking this locked in.
Well, I feel like with my body, I'm getting back to the point to where I'm feeling lighter. I'm hitting the yoga again. I'm feeling more limber.
Okay.
Things like that. I'm a little late for the summertime body, but
it's okay.
It stays hot. It stays hot until
September. You got some months.
So by the time we're doing our show on Saturdays, right. I should be in shape.
You got a while.
Season.
Not really a while, because the first game is the 31st of August. So that's inching closer and closer. But yeah, you got time to get in to game shape. What was did you eat the same pregame meal when you were playing either at Ohio State or in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay. What was that?
I would do either linguine, like the Alfredo noodles, or angel hair noodles with meat sauce and Alfredo sauce.
Oh,
and then you put the little bacon bits on there with the red peppers and a salad and for breakfast just a big bowl of fruit. That's it. Maybe one piece of bread.
That sounds amazing. I've never done the bacon bits because bacon and Italian and pasta, I've never really gone down that road. But I guess I'm sleeping.
Add a little crunch?
I'm all in on the crunch. I'm absolutely all in on the crunch. I want to say thank you to you and Ryan Baker for holding it down for AR and I yesterday. Took a little day off for Juneteenth, so that was nice, relaxing day there. Now we're right back to business. You mentioned the heat outside, and we got a cool event going on right in our parking lot today, because today is the first day of summer, and 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV are asking Central Ohioans to step up and help our neighbors stay cool. Our Beat the Heat fan drive, sponsored by Newman Roofing and in partnership with Life Care Alliance, is underway. It's the hottest week of the year, and many of Life Care's clients cannot afford air conditioning and have medical conditions that are worsened by extremely warm temperatures. You can help today by dropping off a new box fan at our studios at 770 Twin Rivers Drive from now until 6:30 p.m. If you're heading down between noon and 2 p.m., you can get a shaved ice from Kona Ice. If you're coming down between 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m., you can get yourself a grilled hot dog from LA Catering. Anyone who donates will also be eligible to win a couple tickets to the Cardell Jones Celebrity Softball Game. For more information, visit 971thefan.com. And again, our address is 770 Twin Rivers Drive, and it's from now until 6:30 p.m. So a cool little event we got going on here at the station today, Depot, and on the show from noon to 3. You and I are going to hand out a $50 gift card to Skyline Chili. I know this is near and dear to your heart as a Cincinnati boy.
Have you snuck over there and got in on that yet?
On what? Oh, on the hot Met
since
Cody?
I last seen you, yes. It was Tuesday?
I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
I haven't done that just yet. Usually I like to wait until the weekends to treat myself.
Oh, okay, so you're a lot more disciplined than
I'm like a Monday through Friday type of guy. Just get to Saturday. You wake up on Saturday, maybe get yourself a little workout in, get the day rolling, go out to brunch with the fellas, maybe start off with mimosa or Moscow Mule, and then you get into let's have some goodies on the weekend.
Okay.
That's how I like to get down.
That's what the single life is like. Dang. Yo.
No, you're living well. You're living well.
No, because that sounds like a good time,
right?
I just can't. It's just not my reality.
You can come out for a couple hours. We'll get you back home. I'll get you back home before 2 p.m.
No, we got games on Saturday. We got tutoring Saturday morning.
You know what, man?
Tournament Sunday, show Sunday.
It's a lot going on. I get it, but you got a beautiful life. You got a beautiful family. I will make sure I drink a mimosa for you next time. we get those. I'll double down. Actually, make it a double. Make it a double for my boy Depot. But I'm a big brunch guy. There's something about brunch I like because I listen. I don't need to be out late night anymore. So, you know, I go out. I like to be out from like maybe 11:30 to 4. Yeah. Go out, get you a nice brunch, and then get you a lunch. And then, you know what?
I'll be honest.
I'm back to the house.
As I hit my 30s, I appreciate CB. You can back me up on this or not. Day drinking to me is untouched. That's just like, if I'm in bed right when the sun is going down, if I'm it's like
it's the best.
Waiting all day to drink at night, and then just what it does to you the next day. I'm not in on that anymore.
Like you know how we used to get down. Like when you're in college, you're pre-gaming at 11:30.
That's kind of crazy.
You're pre-gaming to go, like your night didn't even start until about midnight.
Right.
And then you're up till maybe even the sun comes up. It's crazy times. For me, I like to go out during the day, come back, get a nap in, and then have the whole night ahead of me.
Yeah, and then you can hydrate, get ready for the day.
That's what happens when you hit your 30s. That's what happens when you hit your 30s. Also want to let you know what we have going on the show today. 12:33, Cam Mellor, college football, covers it well for the College Football Network. We'll chop it up with him. 1:33 Depot. We got a cool guest coming on. We'll tell you about his story here in a second. And his name is Joe DeLeone. He's the NFL draft analyst for the First Team podcast. And it is a Gold Jacket Thursday. So AR and I caught up with Minnesota Viking great Carl Eller. We'll talk to him about being a part of the Purple People Eaters and a lot more. So a fun show coming at you, and just always a reminder, if you miss anything throughout the show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Those interviews, all of our other segments, everything we do from noon to 3 will be there waiting for you. So let me tell you about our 133 guest. I don't know if you saw this story that came out over the last few days, and it involved a fantasy football punishment. Joe DeLeone, he was a guy in his league. He finished last in his fantasy football league. So the punishment was you had to go sit in a McDonald's for 24 hours. Or you could eat, and here were your options. You could either sit in there for the full 24 hours, or they created like a chart based off of their menu. And you could kind of eat your way out of it based off of what you ate on the menu. So, Depot, there was like a double cheeseburger would knock off like 30 minutes. You could do the McDonald's big breakfast, and I think that would knock off about 60 minutes. So he had to do this punishment. We're going to have him on at 1:33, talk about what the heck he ate, how long were you in there, did you sleep at all in there, and then we'll get into some fun NFL draft analyst talk with him. So that'll be our guest at 1:30. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Absolutely crazy. So that should be a fun one. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of CB's boys that play up in Cleveland for the Cleveland Guardians, because the Guardians got it done yesterday. Depot day game against the Mariners, had two teams going at it that are in first place in their respective divisions. Josh Naylor, he hits a couple dingers. That's now 19 on the year for him. That ranks 5th in the Major League Baseball. But let's talk about Steven Kwan, a.k.a. Rich Homie Kwan, because Steven Kwan right now is absolutely cooking. For the month of June, the man is hitting 489. I'm going to say that again. He's hitting 489, and it's June 20th. He's got 47 at-bats, and he's only struck out twice. He's an absolute monster. The Guardians right now have been playing very well, but I just wanted to give those guys a couple shout-outs, because you get the Mariners coming to your town, a very tough pitching staff that they present to anybody, and the Guardians look good there. They'll take on the Mariners again at 1:10. If you had to play a baseball position, what would you play? Outfield, infield? You want to catch? You want to pitch? You want to be a DH only and just hit all the time?
First base.
Oh, okay.
I'm a lefty.
Well, that's the perfect position for a lefty.
That's that Sean Casey action.
Shout out to the mayor. Shout out to the mayor. Shout out to the mayor, Sean Casey. But that lefties are perfect for first base. Lefties,
absolutely.
I would. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. Just a power hitting lefty.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure though when you got to pick that out of the dirt. Those balls coming across the infield.
It's a lot of pressure. Like those errors start with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, a guy that was feeling a lot of pressure, but I don't know if he's feeling a lot of pressure anymore, is Monty Williams. because Monty Williams, and this is one of my favorite things in the world of sports, is the contract buyout. Yes. He gets the contract to be the head coach of the Detroit Pistons a couple years ago, and he's 1 year in. Last year, we saw how bad it was. The product was horrible. They were breaking historical records in the wrong way.
The amount of, just the odds for them to win the game, you could have won a lot of money just betting against them.
It was crazy.
At the beginning of the year.
It was crazy. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I love contract buyouts. Because it's like, hey, you're done.
Yeah.
You're fired. However, a lot of the cash is still coming your way.
He's still getting cash from Phoenix.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that up because the contract alone that he's still going to get paid from Detroit is $65 million. So he still has $65 million coming his way. When you combine that with the team that you just talked about in Phoenix, Monty Williams to not coach is going to make $85 million. Oh,
man.
$85 million, Depot. I'm not doing anything.
I would have just been running 2-3 on purpose. I would have just been sending traps.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, man. I wouldn't have done.
I know the competitor in these guys.
Jamaica.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just taking my time. I may not come back to coaching for about 4 or 5 years.
Man, I would just start coaching the local Catholic school league. I would just be like, listen, man, where's the next CYO? I'm donating my time.
Crazy.
Oh, man.
Absolutely insane. So, we see it a lot. Yeah. We saw it a lot. Our new AD and Ross Bjork here, he was involved in a big contract down in Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher. They moved on from him. That money is coming his way. And like I said, as a competitor, it always sucks to see the headline of, okay, you got let go.
Yeah.
But it eases the pain. So it has to, right?
Are you familiar with a lot of the clauses in these contracts with these buyouts that if you take another job, they are on the hook for that?
I'm not taking the job.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Or am I looking at that the wrong way, that I need to double down?
Well, that team that's taking on your contract would be responsible. And it would reduce the school's amount or the organization amount that they would have to pay you.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
There's a lot of there is some protection for the organization and schools in terms of buyouts.
Okay. So
I don't know why. I can only think of Diebler as Ohio State's head coach. I forgot him so fast. I'm sorry.
Coach Holtman.
Coach Holtman, yes. He took the DePaul job, so DePaul is on the hook for a percentage.
Makes sense.
Of that. It's not all on Ohio State.
Okay, so I probably need to stick to my plan then, and if I'm Monty Williams, you won't see me on the sideline for a while.
Absolutely.
And I'll just cash those checks, every Tuesday or whatever it is, and get my $85 million. It's good to be back. Hope everybody's having a nice start to their Thursday. You mentioned Coach Diebler. Coach Diebler was on the Buckeye Show last night in with Tim Hall and Tyvis Powell. We're going to play some of those clips next and some unfortunate news coming out of that interview when it comes to the Buckeye basketball team. We'll talk about it after this. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Hot under the collar? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix that fast. 1-800-COOLING.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I am in need of tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in. We'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh, yeah. We send you over to Ollie's Oil for that.
Location?
They're right down the road. I can almost see them from here.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
I may also need braking analysis.
Oh, Bert's Brakes will take good care of you.
Calculating. Time and distance for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and brakes all in one fell swoop?
Exactly. I observe that Tire Discounters is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Stop in today for Savor the Summer Savings.
Skyline is turning up the heat this summer with Hot Met Cheese Conies, made with a premium Hot Met sausage from Queen City Sausage. But don't wait. Hot Met Conies are only at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Come get yours today.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spending the money to replace our home's windows is rarely something we get excited about. We usually do it because our energy bills suck or our current windows, well, they're too messed up. But in working with the local Pella Columbus team, my eyes have been opened. New windows can legitimately change the entire look of your home. They've got windows and colors and styles like I've never seen, and they can change everything. So go see my friends at PellaColumbus.com or check them out at their brand new Polaris showroom.
Join all your hockey friends with a Blue Jackets draft special.
Friday, June 28th at 7 p.m.
What will the Jackets do with the fourth pick? How much money will Jody Shelley lose in Vegas? All the important questions will be answered. The Fan.
Hey, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Sale. Hello. Save up to 50% on outdoor furniture and indoor essentials and have your best summer.
Oh, how about storage for my inflatable flamingos?
We've got you covered. Let's turn your space into a summer haven with space for birds.
Awesome.
Visit us in store from June 12th to July 9th or at ikea-usa.com/midsummer. Offer valid dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and ikea-usa.com/midsummer for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, here to introduce you to Tansky Power Sports. That's right, check out our growing inventory of golf carts, electric bikes, and dirt bikes. And the fleet keeps growing. This month, come rent a golf cart for the 4th of July. We're located at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road in Columbus. Visit TanskyPowersports.com to book yours today. And when you think power sports, think Tansky.
Think Tansky.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly cloudy skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 96. An air quality alert has been issued until 10 p.m. tonight. Anyone with respiratory issues should stay inside as the air quality will be bad at times. Tonight we get down to 74. Tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, high 97. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
This is Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Welcome back in. Happy Thursday to y'all, Matty Ice. Got my guy in here, DeVier Posey, the former Buckeye wide receiver, in the house today, holding it down for AR. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk to Cam Mellor from the College Football Network. We'll talk all things college football with him. Before you know it, Depot, it's going to be here, man. A lot of, like CB was telling me, Phil Steele's starting to release some stuff about some preseason All-American guys and his mind. And, you know, if you're a college football fan, you're well aware of that magazine. That's like the college football Bible. So day by day, week by week, you start to see some of this stuff pop out. And before you know it, Saturdays will be booming.
Man, you said the 31st, and I kind of already got things planned around that time on my calendar that I'm like looking at as it'll be here. Well, to be totally honest with you, I think out of all of the months, June has gone by the fastest because we've had Memorial.
Yeah.
I mean, been in here a lot, you know, summer camps. It's just been
rounds of golf, you know.
It's been
plenty of
lot.
that.
Yeah, plenty of that.
Plenty of that. And I don't know how you feel about the Olympics, but that's about to pop off here soon, next month, over in Paris, I believe.
Oh, you must have watched the show on your day off yesterday because we were talking about the
Olympics.
Did you? Oh, I gave a schedule. I know the dates. Basketball starts on the 27th.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Because the basketball guys, like the OGs are like, okay, young pups, you had your time.
I think you said it best in the winter. You said they assembled the Avengers.
The Avengers.
Yeah.
Like
in game.
Yeah.
The portal start opening.
Yeah, Doctor Strange getting that thing going. Right. Like, yeah, bring everybody back. Wakanda forever.
Yes.
Let's load up on the vibranium right now. Because we're going to need it. So, yeah, I'm excited about the Olympics. Like, I'm obviously big into the basketball.
Yeah.
The track is always popular. But there's something about, like, the swimming and the diving.
That's what I was going to ask, what's your sport?
The diving, like the grace, and just how, you don't want the big splash. You get knocked for that. Like just the amount of, flips and all. Like I'm in on the stuff that happens in the water. That works for me.
I like that. And I'm with, I like archery. I think it's just cold. It's just cold.
Okay.
Like just
sniping some guy.
Yeah. It's just like, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. I'm with all of that. Like, I love it. So I like archery.
Oh, man.
Obviously track and field, but more specifically with track and field, the decathletes. I love to see those dudes, heptathletes.
Okay.
Like those are some of the best athletes in the world. I want to see a Somalian cat or African cat going run an 800 under 130. It's just crazy. It's just like
ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You mentioned Lord of the Rings. That's one of those things I cannot watch before I go to bed, because if I see Smeagol's face at all before I go to bed, I'm haunted.
Really?
Smeagol?
Yeah.
It's an ugly guy right there.
He is. Glum. Yeah, but I love Lord of the Rings. That's why I can't do Thrones.
No, you can't.
No, my wife was watching yesterday, and I'm just like,
you can't.
This is like the Jerry Springer of sci-fi. It's just so messy.
There isn't any of the You Are the Fathers going on there. It is messy, but the history of the bloodlines with the Lannisters and the Starks and the Boltons and just the Night King and all, like you need it. You need Thrones in your life. And like I like to say this, everybody needs a little mess in their life. Everybody needs a little mess in their life. Our guy Tim Hall, host of the Buckeye Show, he had Tyvis Powell, the former Buckeye, in yesterday on the Buckeye Show, which you can hear from 6 to 8 every day right here on The Fan. They had the pleasure of talking to Coach Diebler, new basketball head coach for your Buckeyes. And before we get to some other stuff, let's start with the unfortunate news. Let's get the vegetables out of the way, if you will, because that's how I like to get the vegetables out of the way before I get to the good stuff. That's where I'm at. So, had some unfortunate injury news that's coming in regards to one of their guards, and Taison Chatman, and here's Coach Diebler talking about that.
Your heart breaks for Taison, because he obviously came in, dealt with some injuries as a freshman, didn't really get a full season, didn't get an off season to prepare for the year, had a really good spring, was trending in a good direction, off to a good start here in the summer, and just, so feel awful for him. But the encouraging thing is it's unrelated to his previous injury. So successful surgery, it's just a time thing to get back.
You hate to see it, Depot, because, the injury that he has is a torn ACL, right?
Yeah.
And you never want injuries to happen. We all understand that, and especially for it to happen in the summertime, right? And before you even get to the season, I'm sure maybe that could be a tricky thing to get over, but you feel for the guy because of what Coach Diebler was alluding to. You have this kid who came in and dealt with some nicks and knacks last year. Now here he is dealing with a pretty significant injury, and so looking forward just a little bit, I mean, you look at the depth at the backcourt, and it obviously took a hit, so you wonder how they're going to be able to cover for that.
Man, obviously, anytime someone goes through a season-ending injury in the preseason, not even in the preseason, just leading up to it, it's so tough on you mentally. Mm-hmm. Just when you're watching your teammates get excited for the season and you're just in like week 6 of rehab and you're just really just trying to work through it, and you kind of feel separate from the team. It's really a time, I think, Maddie, that is, Mr. Chatman's mental health and mental fortitude is going to be tested. You go in the gym and you got to lift, weights. You got to go into the rehab room and lift mental weights, and it's just a time for him to really get his mind right. And I always try to be positive around injuries because they're so hard to get through. Mm-hmm. Just every day you got to have a small win, right? I can walk today. Oh, I can get on my tippy toes today. I can bend my knee. Yeah. And I just pray that his corner and his team and everybody on his and all of his teammates, really encourage him to work on getting back healthy because, he has a bright future ahead of him. It's just unfortunate right now.
No question, man. I think you laid it out very well. So that backcourt takes a hit. I think you feel good about Bruce Thornton and Michi Johnson coming back from South Carolina as seasoned vets that are going to be able to hold it down. But, you got to give those guys blows every once in a while. And hopefully the injury bug doesn't come after any one of those guys. But if those guys have to miss time for whatever reason, you're going to have maybe a freshman and Junie Mobley really step up and put more minutes and work on his play. One of the biggest question marks I have this year, Depot, about this Buckeye basketball team, specifically the offense, is where the three-point shooting is going to come from consistently. I think there's going to be guys that are going to be able to do it in spots, but are they going to have consistent threats from deep when you need it? Here's Coach Diebler talking about, let's go to the second one, CB, Bruce Thornton, and maybe his three-point shooting ability.
Yeah, I think it's going to be through player development. We have some shot makers that we were able to bring in, and certainly, a guy like Bruce returning who over an extended period of the season was able to show his shot-making ability, certainly. So it'll be by committee.
He's a heck of a player. We all know that. But when you lose a guy like Jamison Battle, who, was tied for second in the Big Ten in three-pointers made per game, that's a big hit. And he had the size, too, right, to get up those threes. That's, I think, a sneaky part of losing battles. You had a guy on the outside that not only was a good three-point shooter, but he could make maybe some tough threes here and there because of his size. And Middleton goes out as well. So that's just one of the biggest gray areas for me right now, Depot, is when they need it or whatever, defense throws something funky at them that's going to make them make a lot of noise from the perimeter. Will they be able to do that on a consistent basis?
Man, absolutely. I love Coach Diebler's comment on player development and just taking a committee approach, and everyone in the gym, on the roster, we all got to get better at three-point shooting. Mm-hmm. And when you kind of take that approach like by committee, and if it's not necessarily, I know at Ohio State we're used to having a three-point specialist, a one-guy type of thing. Like you look at a team like Boston, like when everybody can knock down shots and everybody's taking that approach and everybody's practicing on three balls and everybody's getting them up, it's an opportunity for the team to become better. It's an opportunity for player development to happen. And he's right. They do have shot makers, Colin White, Devin Royal, all those guys, Junie Mobley. These guys can make plays, Michi, Bruce. So it's just an opportunity for you guys to add something to your list of duties.
No question. I mean, what you're talking about is the more threats, the better.
Absolutely.
Are there guys, maybe you don't need to be the 40% sniper, right? The elite guy, but do you have a couple guys that are going to keep the defense honest? That way,
4 guys around the 34%, 35%.
In that window. No, I hear you, because that's going to allow Michi and Bruce to drive and get into the paint and do their thing. So it should be a pretty interesting Buckeye basketball season coming up this year. Coming up next, Cam Mellor, college football for the College Football Network. We'll talk Buckeyes with him and maybe a sleeper or two around the country that nobody's talking about. We'll do that next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If you listen to my show every day, congratulations, you're getting the best. Now I want you to drive the best. But unlike the lie I told before, Jermaine Lexus really is the best. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is fabulous. They want to make you a customer for life. Right now, rates are as low as 1.9%. Lease payments are as low as $489 a month. And the Memorial Courtesy vehicles are now on the lot. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a Big Bite hot dog and Big Gulp drink for only $2.50. Are you dreaming of that fizzy Big Gulp, or a dressed-up hot dog with zesty relish, or spicy jalapenos, or tangy mustard, or... Okay, wipe the drool off your face. Well, whatever you're in the mood for, we have it, and we mean all of it. Now, you can get more with less, like your go-to combo. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. There's always more at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You probably heard me talk about Dr. Mark Levy's custom-fit oral appliances to help treat sleep apnea and how they are so much better than using those bulky, uncomfortable CPAP machines. Well, I've been talking about it for years, and the FDA just recently announced a recall of over 18 million CPAP masks. Yikes! These CPAP masks, the ones with magnetic headgear clips, can potentially interfere with certain medical devices. Pacemakers, implantable defibrillators, neurostimulators, aneurysm clips. And if that happens, that can cause injuries not only to yourself if you use these masks, but also your partner as well. Sleep apnea is no joke, and as I've been saying, it affects everyone in the home. So if you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea and you can't tolerate your CPAP machine anymore, or, just flat out worried it could possibly do harm to you, that sort of thing, call Dr. Mark Levy today for your custom oral appliance at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's right. Dr. Mark Levy, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hi, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Need a perfect gift? Check out the new line of Glock watches and other stunning jewelry at Worthington Jewelers. Make every occasion sparkle with Worthington Jewelers, where exceptional gifts await.
Raising Cane's Iced Tea is the official iced tea of me, Iced Tea. Now, I heard some people order their box combos with water. Listen, water is for fishes and snitches, Jack. Chill out with Cane's Iced Tea this summer. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Big things are happening on the east side. We're ready to deal. Come negotiate during May's Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda. Lower payments, better financing, more value for any trade. Shop lindsayhonda.com and see new Hondas with thousands in savings plus many other deals. We'll work hard to get you a payment you can afford. Now during May Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
This show's sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We blinked and 2024 is already halfway over. Pretty incredible. What's something that you've done this year you're proud of? Keep up the good work with a moment every week to hit pause, set intentions, and reset in therapy. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Take a moment with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Carlin today to get 10% off your first month.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
It might be a little too hot for lobster bisque today. Might be a little too hot for that. It's never too hot to talk about college football, especially in this town. And we're going to do it now with one of our favorites, Cam Mellor, the executive director over at the College Football Network. Cam, happy Thursday. Hope you're staying cool and hydrated, my man. How you feeling today?
It's hot. It makes me think like I'm home in Florida, not here in Columbus, Ohio. So a little warm one out there, but all good. We are closing in on some important dates on my college football calendar.
You mentioned Florida. Let's start in the state of Florida. What is the most interesting Florida program to you right now? The Hurricanes, the Seminoles, the Gators, maybe somebody else. But talk about the state of Florida and maybe a team that's very intriguing to you here on June 20th.
I think right off the top, you have to go with Florida State. Are they feeling disrespected from last year? Is there enough of the core roster that felt disrespected from last year that actually comes back? Because I don't know if there is. What does this team actively look like, and how good of a job does Coach Mike Norvell have to do with this team to prepare them to play a full 12-game season, win the ACC? Obviously, the 12-team playoff, puts them into the playoff this year if the same thing happens as last year. But still, there's a chip on their shower. What does the team look like with DJ Uiagalelei? And what do we get from the product in Tallahassee? But also USF, I don't want to overlook them in the AAC this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam, DeVier Posey here. I wanted to stay in that area of the country and talk about some other teams besides Georgia on the SEC East that you believe have a chance. I've heard everybody's seen the Instagram post with Florida in their like toughest stretch in college football history with who they have to play back to back. But do you see any other options over there besides Georgia?
You know, it's Georgia to me. If we want to look in the old SEC East, SEC West lines, to me this year, I can't wait to see what happens with this conference without divisions and see where it sort of rises. I know we're playing sort of that East and West schedule still this season, but it's Georgia until we've been proven otherwise. There's a reason Kirby Smart is the highest paid coach. There's a reason he is who he is and what he's been able to do, not just in the recruiting in the transfer portal, but also with development and keeping players on that roster. So to me, it's Georgia. They got a pretty tough schedule themselves, but until proven otherwise, it's Bulldogs.
We're talking all things college football with Cam Mellor. He's the executive director of college football at the College Football Network. Let's bring it into the Big Ten. There's so much excitement here in Columbus, as you know, about the potential of this year's Ohio State team. I want to get your thoughts on the defense. I know we brought you on a few times and talked about Will Howard in the offense, but Cam, when you look at the guys on paper defensively for Ohio State, you know, what jumps out to you as far as what they have and what they're going to be rolling out on Saturdays?
Yeah, I think when I look at a roster on a whole, I look at what the coaching staff did in the portal. It's a new way, and I think an added bonus for us in the media to look and see what did this team realize was an issue, not just with their graduating and talent that left for the draft, but also maybe a discrepancy they saw in their own team. Where did they attack heavily in the portal? And so to me, you look at, obviously, you're not going to turn down a guy like Caleb Downs in the portal, but OSU looking not necessarily at one position specifically. They got the best of the best. So I think the returning players at the core, I'm down here in Pickerington North area. So my man Jack Sawyer, to me, has a chance to not just cement himself as possibly the best edge defender, best defensive end in the country, but make himself into that NFL draft high day one range. So to me, I'm watching how quickly pressure gets on it and how quickly that new secondary sort of assembles against each other.
Yeah, one of Ohio State's early test this season is out in Eugene versus Oregon. I just feel like this Oregon team has a lot of hype. I just don't think Dillon Gabriel is Bo Nix. I feel like they lost a lot of talent, lost some coaches, obviously one that we have on our staff now. How are you feeling about this Oregon team?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's hype. As much as I love Dillon Gabriel, and I think he's been here long enough to say this, but over the past decade, past half decade of college football, no quarterback's been more accurate and more of a poised quarterback throwing deep and downfield past the numbers. I don't know that this offensive scheme and the receivers he has actually fit for that strength. So I'm looking at what he's going to do to change his game from what we know of these 5 seasons we've seen Dillon Gabriel. Is he able to do so and find these receivers, these talented kids, Evan Stewart, quickly? I like their ability to create separation off the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they're necessarily the deep threats that they had with Troy Franklin or those 50-50 guys on the outside that Troy Franklin was with Bo Nix last year. So they have a lot to prove. I would say if this OSU-Oregon matchup was earlier in the season, it favors OSU heavily. But until we know what each of these teams look like, it's more hype for Oregon than it is anything else.
Cam, going back down to the SEC, I want to ask you about Ole Miss, specifically their quarterback in Jackson Dart. You know, Coach Day and his offensive staff, they're going to have the pleasure of coaching up Quinshon Judkins, but more importantly, getting what should be really good production from him game in and game out. But seeing a lot of buzz this offseason about their quarterback in Jackson Dart. Like, what type of ceiling does this guy have?
First round, top 10 type of quarterback, in my opinion. If you look at it from that NFL draft angle, but if you look at it from a college football quarterback, 3,500 yards with some really great creation capacity. I also love the liveness of his arm and how quickly we saw him start to develop his decision making. We saw him understand that Trey Harris is a mismatch on the outside. He could throw up. I mentioned the 50-50 balls that Troy Franklin in Oregon was making last year. We saw Trey Harris, he's more 75-25 because he's able to dominate at the catch point. And so I think he's starting to understand that. And there's a reason Trey Harris caught 3 touchdowns in that first quarter. I forget which game it was last year. They were just out there playing pitch and catch. And I think Dart's live arm and the decision-making that he showed his progress in last season really puts him on the precipice of being maybe not necessarily an all-time great, but one of those very, very good quarterbacks that don't be surprised if he's in the top 10 draft pick next year.
Yeah, so Cam, what are you most excited about with the expanded playoffs and this whole new landscape with college football? Is it going to be different from your standpoint covering all of this? And how's it going to look, man? Like this is a treat this year.
It's going to be amazing. We're all walking into uncharted territory, and I think that's the best part about it. If you all have a memory or a favorite memory of watching college football growing up and those memories that are your core moments in time that say, wow, this is why I love this sport, a lot of them go to those moments where App State blocking a kick and beating Michigan. It's Boise State's run to their bowl. I mean, everything is sort of those upsets, and I think this 12-team playoff gives us a chance for a liberty. I know we saw them in the bowl game this past year against Oregon, but let's face it, if you're playing in a playoff and you're a G5 team that's sitting there 12-0, 13-0, I really think you have the chance to see calamity. And I think that's what this 12-team playoff could give us. Not necessarily a new national champion. I think the cream will still rise to the crop, but at least we'll have some calamity and some moments that make some lifelong fans.
So both LSU and Texas lost a lot of offensive firepower to the NFL this offseason. Let me ask you this, Cam. Which team do you think is going to recover best by either guys they brought in from the portal or just guys that they recruited at a high level that you think are ready to pop off? Between LSU and Texas, which offense do you think is going to have a smoother transition after losing some really good dudes?
I really think that it's Texas, and I'll go to one reason. It's the continuity at the quarterback position, because they know now that they can hone in on those receivers and the new offensive linemen if necessary, because they know Quinn Ewers is going to be the guy, and he knows how he's installed the playbook, and he's been there for now 2 years, but also a year as a starter this past season last year. Whereas Garrett Nussmeier, incredibly talented, probably one of the more powerful arms in the country that doesn't get talked about. They're instituting the playbook in him as well as these new talented players on the outside that they have to adjust. I think there's going to be maybe not necessarily a large discrepancy in total output this season from LSU from what they saw last year, but I definitely think there's going to be a talent gap that they have to overcome over those first few weeks, whereas I don't think that Texas has to do that right away.
Cam, I'm filling in this week for AR. I don't know when I get to talk to you again. Let me hear your early Heisman favorite and overall number one overall draft pick, and then I'll leave you alone until next football season.
To me, he's the same person, and I love the way that Missouri's schedule lines up for Luther Burden to have one of those career years where you look back and say this might have been one of the greatest or most talented wide receiving seasons in history. I think what Brady Cook showed last year with him, they kept more as the offensive coordinator, and you come back, Burden is a blue chip prospect, possibly a generational prospect in the same vein that we were talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. I think if he had the name recognition that Marvin Harrison Jr. had last year, we're talking about Luther Burden in a different light. So giving Luther Burden as that dark horse to be the first non-quarterback taken, which this year could absolutely be the first player overall.
Okay, there you go. Nice little spicy take. I like that, Cam. He's Cam Mellor, Executive Director of the College Football Network. We appreciate your time and enjoy summer, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
There he goes. Cam Mellor was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Last year, Depot, for Luther Burden, 86 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And I think the big piece of what Cam brought up that's important there is the veteran quarterback, too. So they have that chemistry so those guys can hit the ground running. So definitely a name to watch down there in the SEC. Luther Burden, the third wide receiver for the Missouri Tigers. Coming up, where does Baker Mayfield stack among some of the top quarterbacks in the NFL after a good 2023? One analyst. His answer may surprise you, and we'll share it with you next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Skyline is turning up the heat this summer with Hot Met Cheese Conies, made with a premium Hot Met sausage from Queen City Sausage. But don't wait. Hot Met Conies are only at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Come get yours today.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
It's our absolute favorite place to go for that live VIP sportsbook experience. 12,000 square feet of sportsbook action. 2 huge walls of TVs, not to mention delicious food and drink. But your experience can be even better if you download the Penn Play app.
Yep, you can get up to $140 in rewards. It's so easy, dummies like us can do it. Got to download the free Penn Play app today and cash in your bonuses. Plus, you never know, and you'll see Man and I lurking around.
I'm lurking. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When it comes to your roof, there's really one team to call, Newman Roofing. From the first call to the final nail, our team of professionals will be there every step of the way, answering any questions you have throughout the entire process. So give Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com.
Hey guys, Andy Katzenmoyer for Game Day Men's Health. Struggling with low energy, lack of focus, and trouble in the bedroom? You might have low testosterone. Game Day is here to help. They specialize in low T and other treatments just for men, like vitamin therapy, sexual wellness, and weight loss. Best of all, it's quick. Get started in as little as one visit. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan to book your free low T test today. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan.
This is Ice-T, repping Raising Cane's Iced Tea, the official iced tea of iced tea. Brewed throughout the day and perfectly poured over Cane's signature crush ice makes Cane's Iced Tea the only iced tea as fresh as me. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Diebler and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I am in need of tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in and we'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh yeah, we send you over to Ollie's Oil for that.
Location?
They're right down the road. I can almost see them from here.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
I may also need braking analysis.
Oh, Bert's Brakes will take good care of you.
Calculating. Time and distance for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and brakes all in one fell swoop?
Exactly. I observe that Tire Discounters is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Stop in today for Savor the Summer Savings.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
NFL Plus Premium is your ticket to the NFL offseason.
With the first pick in the NFL Draft.
Catch all your favorite offseason coverage and stream exclusive content from the NFL Draft, training camp, free agency, and more. Relive the biggest plays from the season with full and condensed game replays.
He's in! Touchdown!
Plus, stay connected with 24/7 football news and coverage on NFL Network. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. Matty Ice, former Buckeye DeVier Posey, chopping it up with you on a Thursday. Always appreciate your time. You know the NFL never sleeps, Depot. You know that.
Yes.
Year-round, 24/7, 365. The NFL is always popping off. And now we're so fortunate as fans. We got so much content and got all these different versions of Hard Knocks coming at us. Like, it's a good time being a fan of the NFL right now, but we're in the middle of summer. Where summer just started, but we're, a few months away from the NFL getting going. So everybody's throwing out, rankings and all these different things to get people talking. And I love it for what we do. I love reading and hearing other people's opinions about the sport that we love so much. And a guy we've had on the program a couple times for Pro Football Focus is Trevor Sikkema. And he released his, quarterback rankings going into the 2024 season for the NFL. And one thing that jumped out to a lot of people is where he had Baker Mayfield slotted after the year that Baker had. Career year in passing yards, career year in touchdowns thrown. So Baker Mayfield absolutely balled out last year.
Mm-hmm.
He had a couple receivers down there I'm sure you like. And Mike Evans has just been just a constant pro year in, year out. You know what you're getting.
Most consistent wide receiver over the last decade.
Incredible. You talk about just you write it in ink. You stamp it. You're getting 1,000 yards from Mike Evans.
50 and 1,000.
Hall of Famer. There's no question about
10
it.
10 tutties.
It's done. Like, that's what's happening. And it's just crazy. We saw Mike Evans and Johnny Manziel at A&M every Saturday just light up the college football world.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude hasn't slowed down since. He has not slowed down since. So Mike Evans, he'll have his name up in Cannes. So Baker, he found his way down there to Tampa Bay. But let's go back to Trevor Sikkema because he was on the Kay Adams show talking about this ranking because he probably got a little pushback for having Baker at 20 after the year he had.
What is holding you back from thinking that Baker can follow up on what he did last year?
It was still the up and down of last season, right? I think that there were stretches where Baker was awesome, right? You go into the game where he goes into Green Bay, a game that they really needed, and not just has a great performance, almost a perfect performance. I think he had a perfect passer rating during that game in Green Bay, which is unbelievable. But then you have to take also the other games into account. The week after, they play the New Orleans Saints at home. They have a chance to win the division and lock it down. He doesn't have a good performance. Then the week after that, they're playing the Carolina Panthers. They're the worst team in the NFL. They go on the road. This should be easy. And it was anything but easy. And so it's just, I think that Baker, re-signing Baker was absolutely the right move for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make. But when you look at his interceptions and touchdowns, and when you look at his big-time throws and his turnover-worthy plays, they're close to even. And that just speaks to kind of the up and down that Baker has been. Now, can he obviously get more consistent this upcoming year? Absolutely he can.
Before you give your take on what you think Baker is right now and can be maybe for the next few years in the NFL, 3 years, $100 million this offseason for Baker Mayfield. That's the new deal he got in Tampa.
It took me a while to like Baker Mayfield, and I liked him with how he handled himself in his struggles. And I didn't like him when he handled himself in his highs. And so, and you can always judge a man by who they are, by how they act when they're low. And I just think you're talking about a man who was the first Heisman Trophy winner as a walk-on. I love his story of a redemption, and I'm happy for him. I think he, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was the right choice. I thought him and his agent really put the pressure on the organization to get that deal done prior to the draft, so that they didn't get, because it was a quarterback heavy draft, and you just didn't want to be in a position to where like you're playing for 60 to 80 and you got to beat out a first round, second round quarterback. So hats off to him. I think this year is really the year that he has to capitalize on that. But man, I mean, the dude had his hand in the dirt doing scout team defensive line in Carolina, man. And, I mean, that staff was wrong about a lot. But, they were obviously wrong about Baker, too.
You mentioned Carolina. One thing that's going to be interesting to see is the transition on offense and how much of a shift they do make this year because, his offensive coordinator in Tampa last year, who he vibed out with very well, he's now the head coach in Carolina. Dave Canales is trying to get Bryce Young together, who I can't wait to see year two of Bryce Young. It was a mess last year, but I think they were asking maybe too much from him with some of the, the circumstances that were around him. So that's going to be interesting to see. But, you got done talking about Mike Evans, and my mind immediately went to Chris Godwin. And those guys have been rocking, for years now, right? Won themselves a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. I know there was some huge additions there with Gronk and Antonio Brown, but those two guys have been cornerstones, right, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a very long time. So it was smart for Baker to take advantage of that. I think you bring up a good point. What are we going to see this year? Now that you got your money, now that you got your revenge for some of the teams that, moved on from you, mainly Cleveland. You mentioned Carolina had that quick stop in L.A. as well. I just think maybe we shouldn't expect everything that we got last year because, as we heard from Trevor, the inconsistency is probably going to be there, but the upside for him has always been intriguing. And that's why the guy went 1-1 in the draft back in 2018. So a career high in completion percentage, yards, and touchdowns. I know there's some people that believe, Depot, that the Bucs got a little fat on a weak division last year. And that may be true. That may be true. So now that you got Kirk Cousins coming in and down there in Hotlanta, who I think is absolutely going to make those weapons shine even more, because I think there's so much potential there ready to boom in Atlanta. It seems like Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins are going to be the quarterbacks maybe going after that NFC South crown this year.
Yeah, you just give no love to Derek Carr?
He did pop up in my mind, and I probably need to put some respect on his name too. So you're right, but it seems like between those three teams, one of those veteran quarterbacks is going to be. I just like the upside of what Atlanta is going to do this year with all the weaponry around Kirk.
Bijan in his second year. I mean, just the thing he was able to do, like he messed around and be all pro this year.
He's
a dude.
And he's talking about, hey, they're trying to use me like CMC. And I think he can handle that. I think it may not be the ceiling of CMC, but I don't know if it's going to be too far off as far as what he can provide for an offense with his pass catching ability and just running the rock. He and Jahmyr Gibbs right now are my two favorite running backs to watch in the NFL.
I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I thought he was a great pick. I thought Detroit absolutely killed the draft last year. But, and then Drake London, it's funny we were talking about Mike Evans. He reminds me of Mike Evans so much. Yeah. He's a Mike Evans number 2, just size, the way he carries himself, the way he plays. And obviously Kyle Pitts there too. So that offense could be really explosive.
It could, man. It could be very explosive down there as well. And I thought a sneaky pick for Atlanta was bringing in Darnell Mooney. And if you have him as your wide receiver, I think he can help you out, especially when you have the quarterback play that I think they're going to get from Kirk Cousins. And look, if Bryce Young is that dude, the way people thought he was coming out of college, we might have to, maybe look differently at Carolina. But they got a lot to prove after last year. It was a mess.
Tough situation. It was a mess. That ship.
It was a mess. It's blazing hot outside. It's always blazing hot in the world of college football. Who are some players or coaches that we believe are on a bit of a hot seat going into 2024? We'll share those with you next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff, and I'm one of the owners of Tri-State Men's Health, where we treat men's sexual health issues here in our area. I say our area because I'm from here, and I'm proud that the practices in the Tri-State region are leading the charge against erectile dysfunction, low testosterone, and other conditions that affect a man's sexual well-being. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in dealing with these problems. For ED, we have a variety of treatment options and treatment combinations that if you're like most men, you will get your sex life back. And I can say this with all confidence as we have the protocols that work in well over 90% of cases. If you're suffering with the fatigue, low sex drive, bad sleep, brain fog, and other symptoms of low testosterone, our treatment plans are highly effective, with most men seeing significant changes in just a few weeks. So call Tri-State Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If you listen to my show every day, congratulations, you're getting the best. Now I want you to drive the best, but unlike the lie I told before, Jermaine Lexus really is the best. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is fabulous. They want to make you a customer for life. Right now, rates are as low as 1.9%. Lease payments are as low as $489 a month, and the Memorial Courtesy vehicles are now on the lot. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Open your door to a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. June only, we're making huge deals for Dad with savings up to 50% off any basement or indoor floor. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
I need directions for paying down debt.
Starting route. Apply for a SoFi personal loan and consolidate your debt into one fixed payment. Turn right into a positive outlook and get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required.
Got it. You could get out of high-interest credit card debt with a SoFi personal loan. View your rate at SoFi.com/debt in 60 seconds with no impact to your credit score. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/debt. NMLS 696891.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Andrews. About to get started. Cleveland taking on Seattle. A rubber game with that 3-game set up in Cleveland today at 1:10. Logan Allen starts for Cleveland. Seattle goes with Luis Castillo. The Reds are off today. They'll welcome in the Red Sox. The Great American Ballpark this weekend. Clippers play tonight in Worcester, Mass. Crew lost last night 2-1 to Inter Miami. They're next in action back at home 7:30 Saturday versus Sporting Kansas City. NHL Game 6 tomorrow. Stanley Cup Final at Edmonton. Florida leads that series 3-2, and Texas A&M and Tennessee will battle starting Saturday for the College World Series in baseball. This update is sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. Matty Ice. Got the former Buckeye wide receiver and Grey Cup MVP, DeVier Posey, in the building for AR today. Our guy CB on the board doing his thing as well. Hope you guys have had a nice start to your Thursday. We almost made it to the weekend, folks. Let me tell you about a cool event coming up in July. Exactly a month from today is going to be the Schmitz Cardell Jones Celebrity Softball Game, because it is coming, and why picnic when you can Schmitnick? And it is presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. Saturday, July 20th, 6:30 p.m. at Huntington Park. Current Ohio State football players versus former Ohio State football players. Cardell Jones, he is the captain for the former players, and for the current players, it is going to be Emeka Egbuka. Tickets are only $10, and they are available today at BuckeyeCruise.com. Again, tickets are $10, and they are available right now at BuckeyeCruise.com. Depot, you need me to help you with the swing? Is your swing right? How we doing, man? We doing all right?
No, I'm all good to go. I mean, I'm going to have to turn off the golf swing for the baseball swing. That's about it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I need you to hit a dinger for me, okay? Yeah. And when you hit a dinger, please pimp it for me. Like, pimp it, give me a nice bat flip, do it all. Like, do it for your boy.
I need Cardell to work on these walkout songs. Like, I need my own walkout song.
Yeah, that's an absolute must. Yeah. One thing I love about the College World Series that's going on right now in Omaha is that they'll have the players have their walk-up song. Like, that's what you need. You got to have it, right? Yeah. One of my favorite players for the Reds while I became a Reds fan when we moved here was Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips, who plays second baseman for the Reds. He had a different walk-up song for every at-bat. That's my type of party.
He got 9 songs.
Yeah, that's my type of party. Just keep rolling. Just got a whole Rolodex of songs for you there. So no, that'll be fun. Yeah, you need to have those people, whoever you need to talk to over there, get that in order. You guys need your walk-up music, man. What would it be? You got a night like what would be your walk-up?
I see that, baby. You know what I mean? Probably that. I would
something
go with
like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, out the gate.
Yeah. I would probably go with like a couple of the songs that I always listen to start my workout, because I usually like to start on the treadmill.
Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill.
That is, it's a few songs into it.
That's how you get through the workout.
That hold up, wait a minute. When you hear that and the beat drops, that'll always get you. But I like to start with Run This Town.
Okay.
Like, just give me with that Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Kanye West. And then I like to go into some wrestling theme songs. So, like, give me Roman Reigns, his theme song.
Yeah.
Give me, like, the Lucha Bros from AEW, and then we'll start to get into Dreams and Nightmares. So, yeah, like, that gets me going. Like, some of the wrestling theme songs to start my workout, that'll do it for me. So, I'd probably do that if I were a baseball player.
Okay.
Right now. It's probably get into some of that. Bottom of the hour, fun interview coming at you, because Joe DeLeone, he is an NFL draft analyst for the First Team podcast. However, he is also the man that had to sit in McDonald's for 24 hours because he lost his fantasy football league. So we're going to have some fun with him and just talk about that punishment, what the heck he ate, and then we'll get into some of the top prospects around college football. Don't miss that at the bottom of the hour. And also, it is a Gold Jacket Thursday AR and I have been cooking up some great Hall of Fame interviews. This week, it's going to be Carl Eller, who used to play for the Minnesota Vikings, former defensive lineman for the Purple People Eaters, which might be one of the best, NFL nicknames for a unit, maybe in the history of the game.
Purple People Eaters?
Yeah, they just eating quarterbacks and running backs alive. Like, that's what they were doing.
But you got Steel Curtain. You got No Fly Zone. You got...
LOB was a good one.
Legion of Boom.
Yeah, the LOB was...
Yeah.
And listen, for me, it's what I saw with my own eyes to a certain degree, like ton of respect for the Steel Curtain. But I wasn't alive. Like, I didn't watch the, like.
You going that 2000s Ravens team?
Oh, my. Speaking to my heart right there, Defoe. You're speaking to my heart. They didn't really have a nickname, but their 30 for 30 documentary was The Bullies of Baltimore. With Goose and God rest his soul and all of those guys were just Ed Reed and Ray. I mean, it's some of those generational defenses.
Like young Suggs.
Yeah, man. Like those generational defenses that have come through and like the Bears and the Steelers and the Ravens and like these units that were giving up, like you get 10 points.
I'll be honest, like that to me is what makes a champion is having the words you just said, the two words, a generational defense. And that's why I'm excited about Ohio State because I think we got we're naming characters like Goose and Ray. Like when you have guys like that, just like a normal defense where like guys are coming up, not established dudes. Like, nah, bro, they're not winning. Like you got to have characters.
Yeah, no question. Like, and then that Seattle team, they were just
characters.
Like Michael Bennett, absolute character. And then you just had I think my favorite player on that defense was Cam Chancellor. He kind of. Yeah. He made me feel like it was the Legion of Boom.
Yeah, I was a young Bobby. I like Bobby Wagner.
We talked to Bobby Wagner at the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
good dude.
He's a good dude.
Good dude.
Yeah.
He's in Washington now.
Yep.
He's in Washington now playing for the Commanders. Got a defensive head coach in Dan Quinn. I'm excited to see what that team looks like under J.D. McDaniel. But, yeah, like those were some of those legendary defenses that just live on and stand the test of time. And when you go back and look at their numbers, it's silly. Like, they weren't giving you anything. They weren't giving you anything. You mentioned Ohio State and what this defense and offense and just team can be this year. It's blazing hot outside this week. Like it's cooking outside. So you and I were getting some stuff ready for the show. You know, let's talk about maybe some coaches and players around the sport. There we go. Just give me a college football vibe. That kind of gets me ready for the video game too, CB. Like getting that going, like just hearing that type of music. But I'm gonna kick off with a head coach here.
Yeah.
Well, I believe his seat is. It's sizzling right now. You know, when you go to somewhere, your Mexican spot, and the fajitas are coming, you can hear your fajitas coming from the back of the kitchen. I think that's where we're at with Lincoln Riley.
Oh, I knew you were going to say mine.
I think that's where we're at with Lincoln Riley. But before we get into Lincoln Riley, you and I had the pleasure of talking to Tom Luginbill the other day, ESPN college football analyst, and he shared his take on Lincoln Riley, and I think CB has that now. CB, go ahead and play Tom's reaction to Depot's question about Lincoln Riley and where they're at right now.
For Lincoln Riley, in terms of transition, is he still in transition out at USC?
Yeah, so I think SC is a long way away still on defense. You can change the coaches. You can change the approach. Yes, I think that's going to help. I do think they will be improved significantly from that side of things. But you still got to have players, guys. And you know, I know a lot of coaches and a lot of guys that are labeled as gurus that are coaching the best players, and all of a sudden you don't have players. You're not a guru anymore. And, you know, Lincoln Riley, offensively, you could argue has done the best job with quarterbacks and consistency on offense over the last 8 years of college football as anybody that's coached the game. But his negligence on the defensive side and the personnel on the defensive side going back to Oklahoma has been pretty significant. And I think that the leash is getting shorter. And if they don't show distinct improvement on the defensive side of the ball, guys, I don't really care how good they are on offense. Have you looked at their schedule? I mean, their schedule is brutal. Yeah. Not to mention they open with LSU.
Depot, I'll give you the floor. Since you and I were on the same page there with Lincoln Riley, share your take on why he was on your hot seat list.
Well, I have too. I mean, and I'll let you have Lincoln because I was trying my best to kind of. I just had this telepathy with. I knew you were going to say Lincoln, but I believe James Franklin is, and here's why.
Okay.
Because he's had his offseason woes with this firing this guy who was really trying to protect the players, this medical stuff. You're privy to all this situation. That's pretty big. And then on top of that, like, you got a talent like Drew Aller and these guys in this running back room. Defense is okay, pretty talented. Now, at what point are we going to stop buying this James Franklin program director, CEO mentality and just be like, listen, man, like, this Big Ten is expanding. You're kind of part of the old Big Ten. It might be time to get someone in the new Big Ten. Bill O'Brien goes to Boston College, has a decent year. Find yourself back at Penn State in a year, man. I just believe there's a lot of room for Penn State to grow. And I'm with you on Lincoln Riley, but at what time is James Franklin, the gig is up to me? Like, it's too mediocre.
It's totally fair.
Yeah.
Because I think what you're really honing in on is, when are you going to clip the big dogs?
I mean, how many chances? I mean, this guy's had at least 12. He's had 6 years for both teams.
And now you got Dan Lanning in Oregon coming into this conference, who I believe Dan Lanning is one of those head coaches that's going to be around for a while, and he's going to have some good teams coming out of the tunnel with him on Saturdays. And, just digging in a little bit more on Penn State, because I think that's a good call, is you got to transition that offensive coordinator. So the quarterback that you had last year, Drew Aller, who did not take off the way a lot of people like myself thought he would. Now he's got to learn a whole new system.
Yeah.
The wide
Danny O'Brien.
What's that?
They got rid of Danny O'Brien.
He's gone. They got him up out of there. Yeah. And now I have questions about the wide receiver room. Former Buckeye and Julian Fleming, he goes over there, but they lose Lambert Smith to the transfer portal, who was a constant for them and a good playmaker for them. You brought it up. Their running backs are going to be good. Their running backs in Singleton and Allen, those are dudes right there. They'll be able to carve lanes out for them week in and week out. But Penn State, I think, is a very good call. And the clip that we heard from Tom Luginbill, he shined a light on the defense. USC's been this sexy offensive program over the last few years. Honestly, the offenses under Lincoln Riley going back to Oklahoma have been a fun product to watch. You got to give it to the man. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams. These guys have all gone out there and lit up a lot of defenses. Part of that, in my opinion, is because their defense has been so bad. Their defense has been so bad. I mean, you're talking about in the Pac-12 last year, there was only 2 teams worse in that conference in yards allowed per game. And going back to 2021 and last year and 2023 or 2024, whatever you want to call that season, Depot, they ranked second to last in points allowed. The defense has been absolutely atrocious, and he's got to get it fixed, or USC may be ready to move on. You can have all the playmakers you want and all of that. The red flags are buzzing around USC, and then over the last 24 to 48 hours, you're talking about 2 of their biggest defensive commits that have decommitted. They lost a 5-star defensive lineman in Justice Terry yesterday, and the day before that, they lost another huge defensive lineman as well from USC. So it could get late early, right? You talk about starting. You talk about starting potentially 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's LSU, Utah, then they got to go up to Ann Arbor. Yeah. You could easily see a world to where they start 1 and 2, and that noise around Lincoln Riley, I think, is going to get pretty loud.
Oh man, and just going into a new league and a new landscape of college football, it could be 3-4 year rebuild for this school, man. And just getting these type of players that they need, it's just, it could get ugly fast.
It really could. It really could. Yeah. Let's go to a break, and maybe you and I will sprinkle in 1 or 2 more of, players or college programs around the country that could be on the hot seat. And also, we'll combine that with Don Waddell, the new general manager for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had a press conference this morning, talked about the firing of Coach Vincent and a little bit more. We'll share that with you next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Ohio Basement Authority. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com.
Raising Cane's iced tea is the official iced tea of me, iced tea. Now, I've heard some people don't order iced tea with their box combos. I've also heard some people spontaneously combust. Sip on that for a while. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
The best of two leagues meet again this summer. Catch the stars of MLS and Liga MX as they show off their skills at the 2024 MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T. Tuesday, July 23rd at Lower.com Field. Tickets start at $25. Get your tickets now on Ticketmaster.
So, you've noticed something wrong with your roof. You don't know where to begin. And the thought of finding the right company to handle this important piece of your home is a bit overwhelming. Let Newman Roofing make it easy for you. First, start with a company who has built a trustworthy reputation for the last 32 years. We've got you covered. Then, when you ask us what makes us different from other roofing companies, we can tell you 3 things: our policies, customer experience, and most importantly, our people. At Newman Roofing, we have a team of professionals that take pride in their work, focusing on making sure every single question you ask gets answered thoroughly and thoughtfully, every step of the way. After all, we're here to support you, so you understand what's going on with your roof and you can make the best decision to fit your needs. Let us be the difference for you. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
See some football players try to play softball? Join us for Schmidt's Cardale Jones Charity Softball Game.
Why picnic when you can Schmidtnick? And presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. The Fan.
Hey, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Sale. Hello. Save up to 50% on outdoor furniture and indoor essentials and have your best summer.
Oh, how about storage for my inflatable flamingos?
We've got you covered. Let's turn your space into a summer haven with space for birds.
Awesome.
Visit us in store from June 12th to July 9th or at IKEA-USA.com/midsummer. Offer valid dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you love cars as much as I do, you're going to want to be at Cars and Coffee at Valley Ford of Columbus this Saturday. That's right. My guys at Valley's are doing a Cars and Coffee. It's the day to drive your vehicle in and show it off. There's no fee for any vehicle you have, so tell your friends too. Bring them on out. Come out to Valley Ford of Columbus and see all the great cars and trucks this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There'll be food and fun for you and the whole family. Find out more at valleyfordofcolumbus.com and check out Valley Ford Cars and Coffee this weekend.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, look for sunny skies with a high around 96. Heading into tonight, we drop down to about 97. And then tomorrow, it'll be just as hot, mid to upper 90s, with heat indices close to 100. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice. Got the former Buckeye wide receiver DeVier Posey in the house today. You know, a lot of changing right now for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and some unfortunate news if you're Pascal Vincent the other day. He gets let go. We got a draft on the way, and Patrick Laine trade scenario hovering over our heads, and some restricted free agent decisions to make. So Should be another interesting story or summer, for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Don Waddell, new GM for the CBJ. He spoke to the media today, and let's hear his reasoning on why they decided to go the other direction of Pascal Vincent.
As I said the first day I was here, that Pascal's the coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I've never met Pascal, and so I wanted to make sure I did my due diligence as the general manager to make sure that we made the right decision about moving forward. So, it took a couple of weeks, obviously, met with him multiple times, and, at the end of the day, it was my decision that felt that we need to go in a different direction. And I've said pretty publicly that, we've been through some younger coaches for different reasons, and I think right now we need to look at an experienced coach to come in here.
It's a big deal right there. The last part of that clip is a very, very big deal, Depot, is that he's looking for, as a seasoned vet himself in that realm of being a GM, being in front office, and just being around the league, a guy that, has a lot on the resume. Maybe not a lot. Maybe a lot's the wrong word to use, but a guy that's took a few laps around the track. And it's no surprise, right? Like if we found out today that you were going to be the new head coach for The Ohio State University, I'm sure you'd have a lot of respect for the men that are over there on the staff.
Yeah.
But you probably would want to tweak things.
He said, I told you I was going to meet him. I met him.
And now we're moving on. It's a cold world, right?
It's like he came into this meeting like he's like at some point where it's like, oh, I'm firing this dude.
Like, it's tough, right?
it's just a professional
He
sport.
probably had to check a box.
Yes.
Which he did, a professional courtesy.
Yes.
Is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's just how the professional sports world works, right? Is that when new people of power take over, they want their own people in house.
But you got to respect the guy willing to come in and blow it up and get his culture in there as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. And sometimes, it's business. Like, the nice guys sometimes lose.
Mm-hmm.
They lose sometimes. And you got to have that courage to be like, all right, we're going in another direction as soon as possible. So I say it jokingly, but I do respect the way that Don Waddell came in and just had to make immediate change.
Had to. You mentioned, you used the word culture in there.
Yeah.
Us as fans, we hear that a lot, used by players, coaches, and front office members. How do you create a culture amongst the sports team?
That's a good question. I think creating a culture it starts with standards, and it starts with like KYP, the type of coach and what he stands for and what he believes, the type of trainers and how they go with the head coach, because the health of the team and that culture is, if you don't have a healthy team, you don't have nothing.
Right.
The strength staff, how are we training? That culture has to mesh with the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, like the bottom foundation of the pyramid is finding players who see all three things: training staff, staying healthy, nutrition, weight room, taking care of your body, extra work, coaching, film study, skill advancement, player development, and finding leaders on the team who have that ability to lead, and it just trickles down. That's developing a culture. And I believe when you do that over time and develop winning around those pillars, you got a culture. And then now you got teams that police themselves, and you got guys who understand it. And it's honestly the GM's job to oversee all of that personnel and, and knowing type A, type B, type C, type of people. And it's a really nuanced job, man, when dealing with people in that realm.
I believe it. You use three letters off the top. For the folks that don't know what KYP means,
know your personnel.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got to know your personnel.
And that, as a player, it's on the game plan every week, right?
Yes.
Hey, you as a wide receiver, knowing what this corner is going to do. Like, if I do this, he reacts to that, all those things. So that's a great breakdown right there of what culture is, because we hear that all the time outside of these buildings from people that are inside those buildings that are on the everyday grind. So that's a good layout there from you. Let's go back to the Patrick Laine situation. Here is GM Don Waddell talking about that possible trade.
Well, it's too early. Obviously, we're still working with his agent, Andy Scott. He's still in the program. And once he gets out, then which we expect any day or sometime soon, then because teams that I've talked about, they want to talk with him if they're going to make a move. So, it's too early to say about money. Our hope is that that we wouldn't have to hold money. We want to make a hockey trade if we can, and we will certainly exhaust every opportunity and every team that potentially has interest in it.
Deepo, you know how this works, and no matter what sport that we're talking about, when you're a franchise and you either make a trade for a big-name player or you sign a big-name player to nice money through the free agency tunnel, you have to hit.
Have to.
Those guys have to be hits. And when you look at the CBJ over the last couple of seasons here, the last few seasons, some of the big names that were supposed to be the heavy hitters for you haven't provided that consistency. So surrounding those guys has been, questions at goalie and young guys that are developing on the fly. And I'll give credit to AR because he brought this example up, and I think it's a really good example. Like for the Jackets, you brought in guys like Johnny G, right? Johnny Hockey and Patrick Laine, and those are supposed to be your 3 and 4 hole hitters in your middle of your lineup that hit you 30, 35 home runs or 100 RBIs or whatever it is. And those guys have been a little up and down. So that's been a big part of why the Jackets haven't succeeded amongst a lot of other things. But hey, if I'm a NFL GM and I'm paying DeVier Posey to come in to give me Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver play to help our offense, we may have a good run game, right? But we need more in the pass game, and Depot comes in and maybe doesn't give us that. That's not going to take us to where we want to go.
Yeah, and I think there's also that veteran presence in the locker room to help instill a winning championship culture. I mean, a guy I'm going to bring up is Von Miller. Right, like me and you both know, and all the listeners know, that Von Miller's greatest playing days happened in a Broncos uniform.
No question.
But at the same time, Von Miller has won a Super Bowl in another uniform, being around Aaron Donald and the Rams and those young pass rushers and kind of instilling a championship routine, championship mentality. Then he even extended that life and went to Buffalo with those young pass rushers, Ed Oliver and all those guys, and help instill a culture there. When you have free agency, I think the best of both worlds is getting that veteran leadership and that veteran production, because you're getting more out of what you paid for.
Yeah.
But when one or the other isn't matching, it's time to go.
It's time to go. It is time to go. CB, let's jump down to the fourth cut from Don Waddell about, will the players maybe have a say on who the next head coach will be?
Players don't have any say in who's coaching this hockey team. I just think that if you go back in history, there's players that like coaches, don't like coaches. So, when I did have talked about probably 15 players so far, and it's more about how they felt their season went. And how their summer is going, what we have to look forward to for next year. So I always say that managers manage, coaches coach, players play. That's what we want to make sure the focus for the players is right now, training for the upcoming season to be best prepared as possible.
Not surprised to hear that, Depot, but would you like a front office to talk to maybe even some of the team leaders about what they would look for in a coach, not ultimately making the decision, but at least having that conversation?
Nah. Waddell ain't playing no games.
He's not. He's
not playing around. He's like, no, I got this. And you kind of got to respect it because he has a vision for the Blue Jackets, and you kind of got to let him run with it. This is what his job is about, is knowing the personnel and getting the right people in the building, building that right chemistry, and kind of sitting back and watch it interact. It's like you're a chemist and you just want to see the experiment happen over the course of the season. So if he feels like anything messes with his ingredients, like an opinion from someone else or opinion from over here or giving someone else some power, I can see from the GM perspective that no, it's not going to go that way. I'm responsible for this. This is my job title.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to do. And I appreciate the players, for letting me know how it was.
But I'm the chef in this kitchen.
But I'm going to tell you how it is.
I'm the chef in this kitchen. I'm making the menu.
Yes, sir.
I'm making the menu. So new stuff right there from this morning. New GM Don Waddell talking to the media there. When we come back, Joe DeLeone, he is the man that had to sit in McDonald's for 24 hours because he he finished last in his fantasy football league. We'll get a lot out of that story, and also he covers the NFL draft as well. We'll talk to him about some of the top players from around college football. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. You know, we do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require a precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
Morning Juice.
Sir, did your mom used to tell you to rub butter on burns?
Better yet, Bob, she rubbed it on there for us.
Oh.
That was the elixir back in the day.
Is that a real thing? That's a real thing.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I am in need of tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in and we'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh yeah, we send you over to Ollie's Oil for that.
Location?
They're right down the road. I can almost see them from here.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
I may also need braking analysis.
Oh, Bert's Brakes will take good care of you.
Calculating. Time and distance for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and brakes all in one fell swoop?
Exactly. I observe that Tire Discounters is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you. I'm losing.
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Stop in today for Savor the Summer Savings.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Listen, learn, lay the points. This is Rothman and Ice.
Oh, that it is. Welcome back in. Matty Ice got the former Buckeye wide receiver DeVier Posey in the house. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time today. Going to use the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline right now and bring on a guy we've been waiting to talk to all week long because we love two things around here. We love fantasy football and we love college football, which transitions us into some NFL draft talk. And the guy that we are having on right now is going to cover both. Joe DeLeone, NFL draft analyst for the First Team podcast, joins the program right now. Joe, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing pretty good. I've had plenty of time to recover since my trip to McDonald's, but I'm doing great, and I appreciate you guys having me on to talk both things, talk some draft, and talk a little bit about my trip to McDonald's.
Yeah, let's start there because that has been the headliner for us here and for a lot of different publications. I saw they did a piece over at ESPN on you. I've seen it at some other places. So let's go inside the four walls of McDonald's. Take us through that window of time. And I think the question I really want to ask is, like, how many menu items did we roll through? What did you end up eating during your time at McDonald's?
Yeah, so the full list of items that I consumed to get me out of there, it ended up being 2 big breakfasts with hotcakes, which took off 2 hours each. I ate 17 hash browns, which ended up being my downfall and what slowed me down a little bit during it. That ended up knocking off 25 minutes each. I forget what the totality of hours that the 17 took off. 23 packets of apple slices, which a lot smaller and easier to eat than I think some people considered. Those were only 5 minutes a pop, and then I wrapped it up with 4 McChickens, which I want to say were 45 minutes each.
That's insane, man. And so these are your guys from college. I see you have some Rhode Island football ties. You have some long snapper ties, man. And are these your boys from college? Or these guys like this? The creativity behind this is insane.
Yeah, so it's high school friends that we did this, and the creativity, what sparked it. We originally, year before me, the guy who came in last place, we wanted him to do the Waffle House Challenge, which had been popularized and had been done by some other folks, that you come in last place, you have to sit in a Waffle House, and for every waffle you eat, cuts down on the amount of time that you have to sit there for the 24 hours. And in this situation, we couldn't find a Waffle House nearby for this last place finisher, so we decided to adapt it and get creative with building the spreadsheet. And my friend Kyle, who is a finance guy, if you couldn't tell by the structure of the spreadsheet, built out this fantastic sheet that we've been using, and it's editable, allowed us to change and alter and kind of say, like, if we ate this many things, it would cut down this time and adjust to it. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of deliberating, a lot of arguing, a lot of discussing to put the spreadsheet together.
Joe DeLeone, he's the NFL draft analyst for the First Team podcast, joining us here on The Fan. He's also the man that had to partake in a 24-hour marathon at McDonald's because he finished last in his fantasy football league. Joe, let me ask you this. Did you actually sit in McDonald's for the amount of time you were there, or did you kind of sit in there while you ate and went out to the parking lot? How did that work out?
Yeah, the only time that I did end up leaving was when I hopped on Infinity Sports Network for a quick radio hit, and I had to go do that for my car. But I did sit there for the whole 8 hours that I was in there, and I cut down the rest of my time. Ended up going a lot quicker than I anticipated. It was actually it was very easy to stay entertained with all the people that were chiming in, asking me questions, and all the videos I recorded. It blew through. It almost didn't even feel like I was there for the 8 hours that I ended up sitting in that booth for.
Man, no, that's amazing. So this year, what's the bet for this year? Does it change? Does the ante go up? Is it 2 days? What do we got for this year?
So we actually don't always do the McDonald's challenge. It actually kind of just ends up being something that we lean on, but we will vote for whoever's in last place. The whole league will vote on and come up with an idea of what we want to do, but we might just come back and do it again because of the popularity of it. I will tell you this, though, I am not finishing in last place again. I will not not let that happen again.
No, I hear you. Now, Joe, let's transition over to some NFL draft talk with you. There's a lot of excitement around Ohio State this year and what they can be, but let's zoom out from Columbus. And who is your QB1 on the board right now? If there was a quarterback-needy team that was picking 1-1 in the 24-25 draft a few months from now, who do you think should be the first quarterback off the board?
Yeah, right now I've got two answers to that question. I think that the one guy that I go to who is the safe, easy pick, I don't know if come draft time he'll actually end up being the first overall pick, but still will be one of the higher drafted quarterbacks, and that's Carson Beck from Georgia. I think that what we saw from him this past year, despite having a small sample size of playing time coming into the season, he still showed really, really strong decision-making, very decisive, very accurate, even in games where Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey and most of the offense was banged up. He stepped up to the plate and did everything necessary to help Georgia win. I think all of those traits bundle up to being a really good quality starting quarterback. But I do love to throw in the mix when I'm asked about this question. I think that Cam Ward, the Miami quarterback by way of Washington State and previously Incarnate Word, I think he's going to really rise up boards throughout this process. Last year at Wazoo, he didn't exactly have really explosive receivers to work with. And I think that now looking at this offense with Damian Martinez running and taking handoffs from him and Xavier Restrepo, who he can throw to, it is a really, really potent offense with a good offensive line. And if Miami can reach their potential, it's going to be off of his production. So because he has the traits, he's got the big arm, he's got the improvisational skills, I really do think that Cam Ward is the biggest name to pay attention to as a unexpected riser as the first overall pick.
Man, I'm with you so much there. And I've been speaking on this guy not being in conversations, landing in the perfect spot. I mean, he was trying to decide between going in the draft. He had flirted with Ohio State for a bit and ultimately ended up being Miami. And I just think that he has an opportunity to really explode onto the college scene as if like Cam Newton did back in, his 2010 days in Auburn. Just he's made the transition, and I really believe he's going to have a great year and climb the draft boards. I'm with you on that. So I wanted to also kind of bring it a little bit to the NFL and the draft and kind of ask you about which rookie you're expecting to see the most stuff from, which rookie quarterback you're looking at to have the most productive year based on their situation and where they've landed. I just wanted to get your take on that, JD.
Yeah, well, one guy I think that doesn't deserve or has not been getting the amount of buzz that he deserves, maybe because of the situation that he landed in, that's Jaden Daniels. He is, I think, the potential to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year because he's such a dynamic athlete. He is such a great runner. So if things end up breaking down, he's going to be able to produce a lot of rushing production. He could end up having a prolific season, especially when we look at the receivers that he's going to have throwing to. And Terry McLaurin, we know, is a tremendous young receiver who has just gotten better every single season. But most importantly, I think that Commanders defense is going to help really raise the floor of what they can accomplish in 2024. So I really do believe that Jaden Daniels is going to have a fantastic year. And while we might be focused on what Caleb Williams does with the Bears and maybe hope that Drake May shows us some bright spots on a pretty weak roster, Jaden Daniels feels like he ends up in the best situation to have a fantastic rookie season and be the guy who maybe gets the same level of buzz and attention that we got from C.J. Stroud last year.
No doubt. Joe, we'll get you out of here on this one quickly. Going back to the guys that are coming out next year, Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver for Ohio State. Where's he stacking up for you amongst your top wide receivers that are going to be draft eligible?
Yeah, right now I have not finalized my top receiver rankings, but he is top 4 for me, certainly. I think he's going to be a first-round pick. The injury that he suffered last year, I think, really lowered our expectations for him, but he is so shifty. He is a great, great route runner, and we're going to be reminded very, very quickly of why he was the guy who was actually a higher-rated recruit than Marvin Harrison Jr. when he was coming into college football, but he is definitely going to be a first-round pick in my eyes in 2025.
It's great stuff, man. We really appreciate your time. He's Joe DeLeone. Make sure you check out his college football work, and there's the NFL draft analyst over at the First Team podcast. Really appreciate you giving us some of your time, and good luck with everything. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you throughout the season and definitely draft season as well.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Joe DeLeone was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Coming up, Depot and a Buckeye Bulletin. There's a lot of hype around the Ohio State 2025 recruiting class. One guy that is in that class is out there on the trail and on the field cooking up some good things. We'll tell you who that is after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
When I'm not voicing Wendy's ads, I'm gaming. I stay up and fueled because Wendy's delivers late.
Are you recording a Wendy's ad? Come on!
Got 'em. Whatever you're up for, we're down. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Delivery Late Night. Open till midnight or later.
Hours and delivery availability may vary.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at MountainDewGaming.com and 2525. Voter prohibited.
At UDF, our made-from-scratch peach ice cream is back with a bonus. When you buy 3 48-ounce cartons, you can quickly stack an extra 20 cents a gallon in gas savings. UDF peach ice cream, made for you. While supplies last with an opted-in UDrive account.
Hi, this is Justin Hinderer. Come see us at John Hinderer Ford in Washington Courthouse for the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in Fayette County. We're all in on America and proud to be your Ford AgPack dealer. Don't forget to ask about our convenience and mobile service at the home of the lifetime powertrain guarantee, including engine, transmission, rear differential, and drive shaft on all qualifying vehicles. John Hinderer Ford, just off 62 at Washington Courthouse, or HindererFord.net. We love what moves you.
Join us for gambling things, fantasy sports, gambling things, and most importantly, gambling things. Hollywood Casinos on the Money, Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
The Fan.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Depot, let's knock out a Buckeye Bulletin. DeVier Posey, the former Buckeye wide receiver, in the house today. You and I looked the other day when you were filling in for AR. The 2025 recruiting class for Ohio State, 24/7 Sports, they're number one in the country. Number one in the country. Coach Day, his assistants, everybody involved over there, absolutely cooking with hot grease at the moment. One of the big-time names within that class plays the most important position, and that is Tavien St. Clair. And right now here over the last few days, we've had the Elite 11 camp going on. And for those that don't know, it's where some of the top quarterbacks from around the high school circuit come to compete, go through drills, a whole bunch of throwing stuff. And, you know, you get some cool stories coming out. I remember, was it Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence a few years ago? I think they were going at it. Maybe I'm getting a couple names mixed up, but it's fun to hear, you know, some of the former pros and coaches come out of that thing with their opinions on some of these guys that we're going to watch in the college realm of football over the coming years. One of those guys, as I just mentioned, is Tavien St. Clair. He looks like he's going to absolutely be a stud, Depot, and he won the accuracy challenge at the Elite 11 final. So that's great to hear that you got a guy, and look, it's just throwing on air. You don't want to overreact too much to these type of things, but if you're a Buckeye fan, you got a guy that's going to be coming in rocking the scarlet and gray that's repping your school very well early on in the process. We talked to Tom Luganbill the other day about a lot of things around college football, and here is his take on Tavien St. Clair in the 2025 Ohio State class. When you look at those guys or some of the guys in that class, hit us with some of the headliners for you.
Well, I think it's got to start with Tavien St. Clair, the quarterback. Anytime you have a level of momentum like Ohio State has, and you have what I would call a Pied Piper type guy in the class that's a high-profile quarterback, other guys tend to gravitate towards that. And I think that, you know, I still believe he's raw. I think he's got a ton of talent, but I think his upside to develop is really, really strong.
Seems like a dude, Depot. He seems like he's going to be an absolute dude. And, like, I can't help but ignore the momentum that the quarterbacks that we've seen recently, what they've created, meaning Justin and CJ, Coach Day, these guys have always recruited very well. But it doesn't hurt when you have guys that ball out at your level, and specifically CJ after what he just did, going to the NFL and shine the way he did, and some of these high school kids are going to take notice.
Yeah, man. When you kind of really think about how Coach Day has recruited quarterbacks, you know, with the exception of Quinn Ewers, you know, leaving as soon as the portal time was allowed and NIL coming in, and it was just like, you really didn't have this mindset on, I need to recruit my own players. Like it's like you're here. Mm-hmm. And so now Coach Day is talking about that stuff, right? He's speaking about recruiting his own players. And if we had that mindset that we have now, there probably wasn't ever a quarterback drop-off because Quinn Ewers would be here coming up on his last year with a Tavien St. Clair coming in right behind him. So, like, when you talk about Coach Day's ability to recruit and then also his ability to change with the times, I think he's done that. But this is the perfect place for him to come in terms of quarterback development, in terms of being a dude who has an opportunity to become an Ohio legend, to become from a small town. I'm just envisioning us sitting on Lane Avenue and seeing a number 1 or 11 go walk down with St. Clair on the back. Like, that's going to happen for you, bro. Mm-hmm. And this is a place where your legacy and your name will live on forever as long as you come here and be who they say you're going to be.
There's no surprise, and I think that's well said. No surprise to me that there are two things working hand in hand here. Mm-hmm. The momentum at quarterback and recruiting, and the momentum at wide receiver. These kids know, hey, up there in Columbus, what they have cooking right now with Coach Day and now Coach Kelly, but for a longer period of time here, Coach Hartline, who has arguably been one of the best assistant coaches in the entire country at recruiting, if not the best assistant coach when it comes to recruiting. that's where we're at with Ohio State. They're crushing it elsewhere. I mean, look at some of the defensive coaches and what they're doing right now. This 2025 class is loaded with elite corners, Tavien St and some other guys that are at the top of the list around the country. But those two positions right now, like it's LSU and it's Ohio State. When you talk about the wide receiver, you kind of battle back and forth. You can go back and forth, and maybe Ohio State's list is longer right now after addition of Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think USC is up there, too. Sneaky.
The wide receiver spot?
St. Brown, Drake London. Yeah, they up there. I think just recently.
I think they're third on the list right now because LSU, I mean, they came in Jamar and Odell and Justin Jefferson, and Neighbors and those guys. But right now with Ohio State, you just look around and especially you look at a couple guys that have been at certain spots or two different spots that have had uncertainty at the most important position. Terry McLaurin and Chris Olave have gone into the league, and heck, even Garrett Wilson after what he did last year. And shown that when you come out of that Ohio State factory, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. I mean, Garrett Wilson last year, Aaron Rodgers goes down, plays less than a handful of snaps, has a very productive season. Last year, Chris Olave, the last 2 years since he's been in New Orleans, the production is there. Terry McLaurin, he had a quarterback that led the league in interceptions last year, and Sam Howell.
Yeah, still
went out there and did his thing. So now you add Marvin to this, and then you got some cool stories, right? Curtis Samuel's been a valuable piece when he's been available.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to explode this year.
I think he's ready to pop off.
Yeah.
I think he's ready to pop off if Tyler Lockett starts to fade a little bit as an OG. And then you had a guy like Noah Brown who did some good things last year. So the brand right now is represented very well, and the recruiting is following, and I just don't see how it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Nah, Tavien St, man, is making a great choice to come here. And then, just to speak on this Elite 11 stuff, man, it's pretty cool to see that you get to kind of do pro things in high school against the other best quarterbacks, like a pro day competition and a 7-on-7 competition, a 1-on-1 competition. And, this thing has just taken a life of its own. Like, I don't even remember this when I was coming out, but it's pretty cool to see.
It's awesome. Tavien St. Clair was in first place after day one and went on to win the accuracy challenge there. So, seems like a guy. And look, the next year or two is going to be fascinating to see what happens at the quarterback room for Ohio State, because, Lil Nicky retires and Nick Saban, and you benefit from that, grabbing Julian Sand, who was a monster recruit. And Aaron Nolan's somebody that I don't think people should forget about right now either. So, going to be an interesting quarterback situation here at Ohio State. That was today's Buckeye Bulletin. Top of the hour in the deep dive. We did it earlier with college football. We're going to do the same thing in the deep dive next when it comes to the NFL. Coaches, players, matching the temperature outside. Who is on the hot seats around the NFL? We're going to do that after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
You're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
The best of rivals, the best of two leagues meet again this summer. MLS versus Liga MX face off in the 2024 MLS All-Star, starting Sunday, July 21st. After a weekend of soccer celebrations, MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T will come to Lower.com Field on Tuesday, July 23rd, featuring MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars as they show off the best of their skills. The two teams will match up once more at the 2024 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Target on Wednesday, July 24th. For more information on tickets and events, visit MLSsoccer.com/All-Star.
This time of year in Central Ohio means severe weather season.
When dangerous storms can come out of nowhere.
And just seconds can make the difference.
Depend on the Doppler 10 weather team for the advance warning you need.
From tracking storms as they happen.
And warnings on your phone.
To alert days in the forecast. You'll have advanced warning, minutes, hours, and days ahead.
So before storms roll in,
turn to Central Ohio's weather leader, the Doppler 10 weather team.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When it comes to your roof, there's only one team to call, and that's the team at Newman Roofing. They're professionals. They'll be with you to support you throughout the whole process from the first phone call to the end. You'll work with their great team, so go check them out. Newman Roofing, the company you can trust. 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. June only, they're making huge deals for Dad with savings up to 50% off any garage floor. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Andrews. While the NHL Finals will continue tomorrow with Game 6 in Edmonton, Florida leads that series 3-2. Blue Jackets' new general manager Don Waddell met with the media earlier today, asked about qualities in an upcoming hire as head coach.
There's a lot of good coaches out there at every level, including the ex-guys that have coached in NHL. I just think, talking with everybody here and kind of getting my finger on the pulse the last 3 weeks, that we need somebody that's been in this chair before that has coached in the NHL. So,
NBA, the Pistons fired head coach Monty Williams after 1 year as their boss yesterday. This update sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matty Ice. This is Rothman and Ice. Got our guy DeVier Posey, the former Buckeye wide receiver and Grey Cup MVP, filling in for AR today. CB is in the house, doing his thing. We appreciate your time. As always, bottom of the hour, it is a Gold Jacket Thursday. We're going to talk to one of the Purple People Eaters that played for the Minnesota Vikings, Carl Eller. He's going to hop on, share some of his story, which is always great, catching up with these guys, Depot, right? Because for a lot of these guys, right, I know the name. You hear the names, but I never saw them play, right? A lot of these guys. So to be able to consume some of their time is an absolute pleasure, and I'm very fortunate to do that. So looking forward to this one and hopefully a lot more throughout the summer. Right now, though, we got to give away a $50 gift card to Skyline. We're giving away a $50 gift card to Skyline. Winner receives what I just said, and they want you to go try their new Hot Met Cheese Coney, which sounds incredible. If you like spicy, you're going to love Skyline's new Hot Met Conies. Don't wait. Hot Met Conies are only at participating restaurants for a limited time. 614-821-9710. is our phone number here at the Fan. And earlier we went around the world of college football, right? Because it's so hot outside. We wanted to kind of pair that with a topic today, and that is coaches, players around the sport that we believe are on the hot seat going into 2024. Depot and I had one coach that we saw the same vision with, but DeVier brought up another coach. Who was that second coach that DeVier brought up? You get that right, you'll get the $50 gift card to Skyline. And again, our number is 614-821-9710. The expanded playoff, the expanded Big Ten, like I know it's coming, but I'm not like fully there yet. It's going to have to be like I need to see it for a couple weeks, right? Like you're talking the the brands of USC and Oregon and UCLA in this conference.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So you're just gonna have to like see it to believe it.
It's
happening, man.
It's happening. You're right. I better buckle up.
It's happening. Games are scheduled.
It's really gonna hit for me, Depot, when the Scarlet and Gray, when they go out to Eugene.
Yeah,
that's when it's gonna be like, okay, this is a thing.
I'll be honest. I think football wise, the schools that are coming in, we've seen a lot. Like I've seen Oregon in this stadium.
That's true.
You know, maybe Ohio State in the Hudson Stadium is going to be a little different, but like USC and Michigan, USC and Penn State. When that happens, I'm going to be like, wow, this is really happening. Yeah. But I think for this year, the moment that it's going to happen for me is when like Juju goes to like Iowa.
Ooh. For those that don't know, he's talking college basketball, women's
and basketball,
college
for
basketball.
Men. Like when those matchups start happening on a regular, you're like, oh wow, like we really got the greatest college basketball program in the history of basketball in our conference, UCLA.
Pretty wild.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got it's gonna be like when the basketball season rolls around and that Big Ten conference, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, because Juju Watkins, for those that don't know, freshman last year for the Trojans.
Absolute animal.
She looks like she's, in the game. Oh, you don't know. In Game of Thrones, they say the prince that was promised.
Yeah.
She seems like the queen that was promised because with what she's going to be doing, bucket getter.
Yes.
Women's basketball has found their new college, their new Caitlin Clark. As far as branding, you can build around her.
Yeah.
My only fear with her is time slot. That's my only fear is the appeal to the entire country when her games are tipping off at 10 p.m. our time. But when she comes to our neck of the woods, people are going to be well aware of who she is. That's for sure. So, and then here in the Big Ten, down in the SEC, big brands. Oklahoma, Texas, moving on over to there. Like some of those games, like it's exciting times. It feels like, I know a lot of people can get turned off by a lot of the transfer and the money and all of that, right? Especially if you're a fan that grew up in, let's call it kind of the old school era of college football.
It's over. I'm sorry.
It's gone, right? It's
gone.
Deep in the rearview mirror. But as far as what we're going to get with these new brands moving on the board, and the expanded playoff. I'm not fully there with my excitement when it comes to the college football playoff. I don't love the expanded playoff, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I have no choice, as you're saying.
Well, what do you don't love about it?
What I cherished, one of the things I cherished the most about the college football season was that pressure-packed feeling of those big games and how much was on the line on those Saturdays. Clearly, there's going to be stuff on the line, but you just have more wiggle room.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss that. Now, I'll probably be completely overwhelmed in a positive way when you're talking about some of these games that they're going to be at some of these host sites, right? And the potential of a Florida team, man, I'm just using them as like that warm weather team, leaving the swamp and coming up to the shoe, or going to Ann Arbor in December or January when it's, 20 degrees, but it feels like it's 10 degrees. Like I'm looking forward to some of that, but that's what I'm going to miss most is a little bit of that. I think we're going to have too much of a relaxed vibe around the sport when it comes to some of the big games. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Guess what, Maddie? We get more shows.
You know what? More time to kick it with Depot. I'm not mad at that.
We get more shows.
Come on by and see us in the morning.
More coverage there.
Come on by and see us. That's right, man. So, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I'm never going to complain about football, okay? I'm never going to complain, and I'll probably end it up but just on the surface, I don't know if I'm completely down with teams that, 2-3 losses that you've earned the right to play for a chip.
You don't want that March Madness football feel. Like, you know what I'm looking for? The style matchup. Like, I want to see, all right, I'm going to take you back to a year.
Mm-hmm.
The year that Florida won the national championship with Tim Tebow, and Major Wright flew off of the hash and hit that Oklahoma wide receiver, Sam Bradford year. Oklahoma got voted into that national championship. But I truly believe the best team in the country that year was that USC team that beat us. They had Mark Sanchez, Clay Matthews, Brian Cushing, Ray Maluga.
Some dogs.
They had Ronald Johnson. They had Stephon Johnson. They had Joe McKnight. Like, that team just played us. Then they had a crazy emotional game versus Ohio State win. Then they played Oregon State on a Thursday night, and they lost their championship title hopes. Now, you mean to tell me if a team like that got in a tournament versus a team that you said, like the Kurt Herbstreits of the world, all these people who are telling us, I voted that this team looks like with my eyes that this is the best team. Now we get to actually see it displayed. I'm excited for that.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying, but aren't that specific team, how often do we see those type of teams really fall off in a season? I guess it would have to be a large part due to injury, correct? Is what you're talking about, and then them getting a chance to climb back in.
But it's just a bad tough loss versus Oregon State. Like, I mean, you've seen, like, that's the thing. That was the flaw with the BCS system to me. Like, all right, the year that Auburn won, Ohio State, we were preseason ranked number 2 that whole year. This is a year that never happened. Auburn got voted in as a one-loss team, and I just believe we were a good team. If we got in on the side of that team and we play Oregon early, or we play Oregon in the Final Four or Final 6 or Final 8, like, I just feel like at that time of the year, like, I feel like we're high.
If you lose 2 to 3 games, you don't deserve to play for a national championship. That's where I'm at.
I'm at one loss teams.
Okay, a one-loss team?
1 to 2 loss teams. All right, so Texas loses twice to Alabama and Georgia. They don't deserve to play.
No, you don't.
They do.
You don't. They do. You had to, and that's what I'm going to miss.
They could beat a Michigan. They could beat a Oregon.
Of course they could, because of the way that they recruit. I want to go back to this because you used 2 words that I thought were interesting.
Yeah.
March Madness. What we love about March Madness is the upsets. You played this. You played at the highest level.
Yeah.
How many upsets do you think we're really going to see in this expanded playoff?
To me, what an upset in the expanded playoffs is exactly what you just said. You don't deserve to be here. You lost twice, and you're playing against an undefeated team. A 2-loss team can beat an undefeated Georgia. I'm just telling you, I was at the Peach Bowl. We could have beat that team. We beat that team. We missed a kick. So all I'm saying is that's the madness effect, is that a 2-3-loss team, 1-loss team could win it.
And because what you're saying is this isn't a series. This isn't, hey, we got to beat. This isn't
one night on a beautiful Saturday in December or January.
Oh, got some snow falling. Hot chocolate just
you got
rolling
a
around
hot weather school playing in a cold stadium, and they thought they weren't soft enough, but they got guys from the Midwest.
Could be vice versa. You know, some teams in the Midwest, in the northern region, I got to go down to maybe Florida State or Miami when it's muggy and warm. Like,
can you imagine? Just you talking about maybe Utah having to go to Georgia. Maybe Georgia lost when they slipped up.
I like Utah.
And they got to go play on that. Like, at that time, the grass in Georgia is going to be brown. In between the hedges. It's not going to be green anymore because that Georgia grass gets brown at that time of the year. Yeah. And you're going to have a big game like that. Cam Rising versus Carson Beck. Come on now.
I like them. I do like, listen, I like Utah this year.
I could sell it to you.
You kind of winning me over a little bit. It's a little bit. You are. And like I said, I think when we get in the middle of this,
okay,
the juices will start flowing real quick, because you brought up Utah, and I just wanted to see where their odds are at this year. They're at 66-1 to win it all. That's asking a lot.
Okay.
But I think when we talk about teams that, could start to creep up and surprise some people week by week, you and I like Cam Rising, but we're kind of going into the dark with his health and recovery from that.
Right. Yeah,
we didn't see him at all, right? We didn't see him at all last year, but, I brought them up a couple times throughout the summer now, or, the offseason. Going into the summer, you got a seasoned quarterback. You got a head coach that you know how his teams are going to play. Tough, rugged, physical. We're coming at you. And if they can open things up with Cam Rising, I like them a lot. Some people like this Ole Miss team.
You see what I'm saying? Ole Miss comes up to, let's say, a Washington. Maybe say Ole Miss comes up to Ohio State or Michigan. And they hot. Jackson Dart, our guy said he has Jackson Dart as the number 1 player in the draft next year. It's crazy.
14-1 is Ole Miss to win it all. Vegas likes him. Man. Vegas likes him a lot. It's just going to be so big.
It's going to be amazing.
And just how hungry teams are going to be to get that bye. Right?
Goodbye
because
is huge.
how long this journey is going to be.
Yes.
And for you guys, right, you know way better than I do, but I'm assuming just to let your body reset, right? At that point in time.
There's your pressure Saturdays. That's what you're playing for, man.
For the bye. You're playing for the bye.
Not a BCS vote. You're playing for a bye.
Our guy Ryan Baker weighed in. He's with me.
Yeah.
He said, preach, my dude. Get out of here with these losses. That just, it feels grimy to me. Sorry, Depot. It just feels grimy. Bake, I love you. Hopefully our Reds can get it together because we're a complete mess. Right now, CB, did we have a winner for the Skyline Chili gift card today?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the first caller I guessed, Lincoln Riley, which was the one you guys shared. But no, the correct answer, and Andy got it. Andy in Columbus knew that it was James Franklin.
And shout out to you, Andy. Thanks for listening.
Andy.
Head on over there to Skyline and have one of those hot Met cheese conies for Depot and I. That sounds good. Spicy Italian sausage.
Yeah. I got to bring your own Goulden spicy mustard.
Just loving it how you say Gouldens. I like that. I like how you said it. Coming up in pre-snap reads today, Herm Edwards, former NFL coach, NFL player, coached at Arizona State. He's weighing in on Jim Harbaugh and maybe the potential of the Los Angeles Chargers in year one. You'll hear from him after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Clair Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
When I'm not voicing Wendy's ads, I'm gaming. I stay up and fueled because Wendy's delivers late.
Are you recording a Wendy's ad? Come on!
Got 'em. Whatever you're up for, we're down. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Delivery Late Night. Open till midnight or later.
Hours and delivery availability may vary.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes Monster Energy and Red Bull and Gatorade and Body Armor. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey guys, Andy Katzenmoyer for Game Day Men's Health. Struggling with low energy, lack of focus, and trouble in the bedroom? You might have low testosterone. Game Day is here to help. They specialize in low T and other treatments just for men, like vitamin therapy, sexual wellness, and weight loss. Best of all, it's quick. Get started in as little as one visit. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan to book your free low T test today. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan.
The best of rivals. The best of 2 leagues meet again this summer. MLS versus Liga MX face off in the 2024 MLS All-Star starting Sunday, July 21st. After a weekend of soccer celebrations, MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T will come to Lower.com Field on Tuesday, July 23rd, featuring MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars as they show off the best of their skills. The 2 teams will match up once more at the 2024 MLS All-Star Game presented by Target on Wednesday, July 24th. For more information on tickets and events, visit MLSsoccer.com/All-Star.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risks, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Do you know someone struggling to figure out their mental health benefits? The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to help. Find us at insurance.ohio.gov/GETMHIA or call us at 855-438-6442. Don't wait. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office can help you figure out what mental health insurance benefits may be in their plan. Call us today at 855-438-6442.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly cloudy skies today. It'll be hot and humid with a high of 96. An air quality alert has been issued until 10 p.m. tonight. Anyone with respiratory issues should stay inside as the air quality will be bad at times. Tonight we get down to 74. Tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, high 97. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, let's knock out some Bet365 action right now. Because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We do not do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. I'm doing a very long play here because we already got the Guardians rolling right now. Score's not up on the TV, or there it is. Mariners up 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th or 6th inning. Man, I need to clean up my glasses. People can't even see up there. Yeah, bottom of the 5th. Man, my goodness, my vision ain't getting that bad already. I'm going to the world of the NBA, National Basketball Association.
Okay,
I'm going with who I think is going to win the chip next year.
Ooh,
give me the Philadelphia 76ers at 12.
Oh my God, you wasting your money.
Give me the Philadelphia.
You're wasting your money.
Come on, man, roll with me on that. Walk with me on this one.
You wasting your money.
Here's why I like their value right now.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to sign Paul George.
No, I don't think they won a championship since Julius Erving beat Magic. Man.
You're right to kind of dunk on me for this text, but I'm rolling with it anyway. Okay? Just hear me out. Because I think if they do get Paul George at 12-1, that value won't be there any longer.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the odds now. Is there any team off the top of your head that you'd like for me to throw the odds at you real quick? For next year's champion in the National Basketball Association.
Throw the odds at me for Denver and Milwaukee, past champs.
Okay. I've got Milwaukee at 10-1 and Denver at 8-1. They're tied for the second best odds with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Your leader in the clubhouse is the reigning champs, the Boston Celtics, at 3-1. So Denver 8-1, Milwaukee 10-1. I like Milwaukee's value better.
Like Milwaukee's value better.
I just don't trust Doc Rivers.
Me neither.
See, you don't like it. You forgot about Doc.
I forgot Doc.
Forgot about Doc. Forgot about Doc. But yeah, we'll roll with those for today. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Watching some of the Mockingjay Part 1 last night. That's the one right there. Mockingjay.
That's the one?
Yeah, that's the one. Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah, Katniss Everdeen.
She's, she's a real one. She's a real one. She's a real one. The LA Charger fan base, they are hoping that Jim Harbaugh is a real one. Herm Edwards, who is now, again, an ESPN NFL analyst, is giving his take on, year one and the potential there for the Chargers.
And wherever Coach Harbaugh's been, there's always some physical toughness about this team, and it starts with their offensive line, their ability to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and everything comes off that. When you think about his days in San Francisco, then he goes to Michigan, obviously does the same thing. They're going to be a play-action football team, and I know this. He's probably excited about his quarterback. This is probably one of the most talented quarterbacks he's ever coached. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. They have some great receivers. This team, in my opinion, if they can get going early, they have a chance to make the playoffs. They really do, because they're a 5-12 football team. When you look at this talent on this team, you just shake your head. They got the best uniforms in America, and they're good looking. In the pregame warm up, when the Chargers come out, you go, "Oh man, look at these guys! They look so good." And they're 5-12. How can you be 5-12 looking like that?
It's a lot there.
Man, I'm wilding right now.
There's a lot there from Coach Herb. I like their Chargers, their uniforms. I don't know if the Chargers would have the best uniform in America, because I just think, to me, my favorite uniform in the NFL is the Bengals all white with the white helmet.
You like that?
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love when the Giants roll out the old school Lawrence Taylor style uniform. Those work for me. Probably my favorites. In the NFL. For you, best uni combo right now in the league?
Best uni combo. I really like the Texans' new joints. You're going to like those.
Is it the red?
They got the baby blue in there.
Oh, more the Oilers flavor.
It's a little ode to the Oilers, but they had to tread lightly on the trademark, because that team is owned by the Tennessee Titans, because they did move. But I like the old school look was crazy. Are we talking like throwbacks?
Whatever you want.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I really like a classic Seattle navy blue.
Okay.
I think that looks good to me. I really like that uniform. I like that Ravens all black. It's nasty. It's really nasty. And I like that Kelly Green Eagles too.
That's another one for me. That gets the job done. Herm Edwards, going back to his clip there, he mentioned it in that soundbite. If they can get off to a good start, that'll put them in good position. First 4 games for them, Depot: home against the Raiders, at Carolina, at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they host the Kansas City Chiefs, one of their divisional rivals there. One thing that you don't like if you're a Charger fan is right after that Chiefs game is your first bye, or your only bye, in week 5. So a very early bye for them. But your feel on just this Chargers team under Harbaugh and what you think they can cook up in year 1?
I did like the point that Herb made, is anywhere that Harbaugh goes, it's a physical team, and it's going to be a nasty defense. I think about the San Francisco Dante Hittner, Deshaun Golson, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman.
That linebacker duo.
He had a nasty approach there.
Yeah.
His defenses at Michigan were pretty physical. I'm pretty sure he's going to take that same approach. They do take some type of physicality level under Harbaugh, and it's kind of funny because he's a quarterback, but he knows what's hard to go against. So, I think this team does have a chance. I don't know if it's this year.
That's fair. Just follow their evidence that they've left behind in the former breadcrumbs. It's all about physicality.
Yeah.
Running backs, you bring in Gus Edwards and you bring in J.K. Dobbins, and just fingers crossed he can have, a clean bill of health and get out there and ball out.
Yeah.
You use your first round pick on a tackle, right? And Joe Alt from Notre Dame. Your personnel for your
absolute mountain.
Yes, mountain of a man.
Yeah.
You look at who is his offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You mentioned San Francisco. It's Greg Roman. He was with him in San Fran.
G-Row
was in Baltimore when they had one of the best rushing attacks. The new GM, Joe Ortiz, comes from Baltimore. So that style of play.
And it's sickening, too. The Harbaugh-brother connection with how they just pass assistant coaches is crazy.
It's ridiculous, right?
Crazy,
It's absolutely ridiculous. So what I can't, because I think, and I would love to ask Jim Harbaugh this, is clearly we know a style of play that you like to roll out there on Sundays. How much of that is a part of who is the king of your division? What I mean by that is when we play Kansas City twice a year, I got to keep 15 on the sidelines for as long as possible.
Yeah.
I think that has to be part of the equation, right? Because to limit his at-bats, let's milk this thing as long as we can and keep 15, 87, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and more importantly, Andy Reid from cooking up all these plays. I think that's going to be a great rivalry. Like you said, they may not be humming in year 1, but I think the Harbaugh-Andy Reid matchups in the years to come, I think are going to be bangers of games. I can't wait to see it.
You think it's going to become a rivalry?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he has the quarterback. You heard from Coach Edwards. Like,
he does.
They know, too, hey, if we got to go into a game and get to 28, maybe 31 points through there, we got a quarterback that can do that as well. This isn't like, this is kind of – he had J.J. McCarthy, who's fine. But Justin Herbert's skill set –
yes. No, he's not Colin Kaepernick.
No.
He's not
Special.
Alex Smith. Yeah.
It's maybe the best quarterback he's ever coached.
So,
yeah, it's going to be a different –
He might have even been better than him when he played quarterback.
Those are your pre-snap reads for today. It's a Gold Jacket Thursday. This morning, AR and I had the pleasure of talking to Carl Eller, who is a Minnesota Viking and part of the Purple People Eaters defensive line. You will hear that interview after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Boss on your back, break away from the office, and head on over to Delaware Golf Club. Grab a group, play 18, and afterwards, unwind with a drink by the Fire Pit Bar and Patio. Online booking makes it easy to secure your tee time. So come check out Central Ohio's home for premier golf at Delaware Golf Club. People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
One of the most important Buckeye football seasons ever is coming. The Fan is your home for all the news and interviews you need as fall camp approaches. Join us. We're a friendly bunch of degenerates. Your Buckeye station, The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When it comes to your roof, there's only one team to call, and that's the team at Newman Roofing. They're professionals. They'll be with you to support you throughout the whole process from the first phone call to the end. You'll work with their great team, so go check them out. Newman Roofing, the company you can trust. 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
Eliminate carbon and varnish deposits with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up. A clean fuel system can increase performance and fuel economy. Right now, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9 and get 2 times O Rewards points. In-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. When I'm not voicing Wendy's ads, I'm gaming. I stay up and fueled because Wendy's delivers late.
Are you recording a Wendy's ad? Come on!
Got 'em. Whatever you're up for, we're down. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Delivery Late Night. Open till midnight or later.
Hours and delivery availability may vary.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet Store. You know, we do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
Sponsored by the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Plan your perfect summer trip at columbuszoo.org.
Boy, what a thrill it is. A Gold Jacket Thursday. This man was one of the many reasons I became a diehard Viking fan over the years. 225 games played over 16 seasons. Was the left end on one of the best defensive lines ever assembled. The Purple People Eaters. Number 81 for the Minnesota Vikings Hall of Fame class of 04, along with John Elway and Barry Sanders and Bob Brown. It's an honor to welcome the man they called Moose, defensive end Carl Eller. Carl, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you for the introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just thrilled to talk with you today. Why don't we start there? Who gave you the nickname Moose? Do you remember?
Well, actually, it started back in Winston-Salem. That's where I grew up. And on the playground, somebody said, look at that guy. Looks like a big old moose running around the football field. And so I kind of started there, but it stuck.
That's awesome. Moose, thanks so much for your time. I mean, you had a tremendous career, and to this day, you're still the all-time sack leader in Minnesota Viking history. Talk about that position and what it takes to get after the quarterback and play at a high level like you did.
Well, the big thing is that you want to get after the quarterback, but you have to have some discipline on the line because we play against running backs like Garces or O.J. Simpson or some of those guys, and they would take advantage of you. You just took aim at the quarterback. So you had to, at the same time, rush the ball, rush the quarterback as well as you could, and try to contain him or make him, or stay in the circle or whatever. And at the same time, you wouldn't want to get out there where he throw the ball or run outside of you because playing in, you were kind of one of the close and not letting him get outside.
He is Carl Eller, one of the great Minnesota Vikings. You've been in Minnesota a long time. You played for the Gophers. You won a Rose Bowl. But you didn't come out of a conference, Carl, that passed the ball a lot, right? So how did you become such a good pass rusher?
Well, they didn't pass the ball, especially at that time. There was Buster running the conference, but Marvin Warmoth, who was the coach at that time, was kind of a ball control running kind of coach. But you had to learn it because I learned to be effective. I had to contain the quarterback at the same time I had to rush him, which is very difficult because playing against some of the best in the National Football League, and you have to kind of give them the look like you're going to maybe go inside on occasion, and you basically try to pick them out, but not let them get the best of you. And sometimes it was really hard, particularly if a guy was really strong, had really strong arm strength, and he would catch you about the jersey and hold on to you so the quarterback could get outside. But that's what they would do.
The Purple People Eaters is one of the coolest nicknames I think handed out, in NFL history to any unit. Carl, were there a couple other teammates on defense that you played with that you thought deserved a little bit more recognition outside of you guys up front on the defensive line?
Well, we, amongst ourselves, regard everyone as necessary and essential part of the defense. And I remember I played next to Roy Wilson, who was the outside linebacker. Man, he had to contain the guys. He got the guys who are already outside, like wide receivers or nickelbacks or somebody like that were already be outside, and they were running from the hash marks to the sidelines. And if they did their job, which they normally did, because their job was a lot tougher than mine. And so that was really good. They appreciated that. They really liked the pressure because they knew the quarterback had to throw the ball, had to get rid of the ball. And we kind of keyed on that too. Make him throw the ball otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Carl Eller is with us, Hall of Famer, class of 04. How does it feel to be back there? You're 20 years from your enshrinement. You're back in Canton. They brought you back home to football heaven. You're going to be meeting and greeting some people that are coming through the hall Friday and Saturday. How does it feel to be back where you were enshrined into football heaven?
Oh, man, I am enjoying this so much. I'll tell you, I have never enjoyed my visit to the hall as much as I have already, and we're only about halfway through my visit here, but it's been a real pleasure for me, and I think I'm going to certainly do it in the next couple of days. But I'll tell you, there's nothing better than the Hall of Fame, I'll tell you.
1970s All-Decade team, Carl Eller with us here on Rothman and Ice. You played in those 4 Super Bowls. You didn't get the ultimate prize, but you lost to some monumental teams. Len Dawson's Chiefs, Larry Zonka and those Dolphins, the famed Steelers, Kenny Stabler's Raiders. Is there one that sticks out to you more than another, that maybe either you thought you were going to win or the one that has stayed with you, or are they all kind of the same in your mind?
Well, here's the deal, because I thought at that time it was very new, the Hall of Fame, and also the Super Bowl was very young. Mm-hmm. Hall of Fame had been around for a number of years, but when the Super Bowl started, if anybody had lost one game, when they came back, they had won the second game. So nobody had lost 2 Super Bowl games. And I, for some reason, I don't know, it was in my head, and somehow I got the idea that all we had to do was get back to the Super Bowl, and we would win. Obviously, that was not the case. Because I couldn't figure it out. Man, it gave me nightmares, and I couldn't figure out why we didn't win the second game. I said, well, we need to go back again and give that a try again, try harder. And then we lost again, oh, man. So, but I tell you this, you never get over losing the Super Bowl. So any teams, anybody that's listening is you. I thought, well, you can go to the Super Bowl and lose. No, it's a nightmare. You never get over that. And it's something that stays with you the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, I hope a lot of the great things have stuck with you. They've stuck with me as a big Viking fan and a fan of yours over the years. What was it like? Did you like playing in the cold? You played at the old Metropolitan Stadium. Did you feel as an individual you played your best in the cold, or was it very tough?
You didn't think about the cold because you couldn't do anything about it, and I think that was to our advantage. Really, we see some of the guys that would be shivering and getting cold. We say, oh, man, yeah, we got those guys. But, the cold was something you couldn't do anything about. So you had to just forget it and go on and play the game with the way you could play as best you could.
6-time Pro Bowl selection. Your wonderful daughter, Molly, I've talked to, and the 2004 inductee into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the founding members of the famed Purple People Eaters for the Vikes. And I go ahead, Carl.
Go ahead. No, I wanted to make sure I was hearing you.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, this is a thrill. I want you to be well. Enjoy your time in Canton. The fans will be up there to see you, I know. Tomorrow you'll be at the Hall of Fame, 10:15 to 10:45. And then Saturday, of course, you'll be there as well. And I got to tell you, this was awesome for me. I grew up loving you, admiring your play, and I'm so glad that you're hanging in there and you're back in Canton where you belong. So you enjoy yourself.
Well, I will enjoy myself. I got to tell you this. that I've had such great pleasure being here this time. I don't know what it is, but it just is better and better. And thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wear that gold jacket, my man. Wear it proudly. And
I have right with me.
all right. Thank you, Carl. Be well, my man. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Carl. There he goes, Gold Jacket Thursday. That one meant a lot to AR. We'll continue to do that throughout the summer. With the finish line of the show next, we'll tell the truth. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Chops has serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
It's our absolute favorite place to go for that live VIP sportsbook experience. 12,000 square feet of sportsbook action. 2 huge walls of TVs, not to mention delicious food and drink. But your experience can be even better if you download the Penn Play app.
Yep, you can get up to $140 in rewards. It's so easy, dummies like us can do it. Got to download the free Penn Play app today and cash in your bonuses. Plus, you never know, and you'll see Man and I lurking around.
I'm lurking. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It was a quiet night in Columbus, maybe a little too quiet. Me, Philip Flapper, plumbing detective. I was finishing up for the night when she walked in. Long hair, 2 legs, a couple of arms, a nose, elbows. Pretty standard equipment for this neighborhood. I looked at her, she looked at me, and then we did that thing where we both spoke at the same time. What can I do for you? I'm sorry, that was awkward. We went on to talk about clogs, funny odors, water going down the drain too slow. This is above my pay grade, I told her, and gave her this website, apexpros.com. They're the pros who knows, the kinds of plumbers who don't mind getting their hands dirty. And believe me, what's down those pipes is dirty. Ugh, call the pros, Apex Pros. And that was it. She walked out of my life, using those legs I told you about earlier.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear from Apex Pros. Apex Plumbers are the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hey guys, Andy Katzenmoyer for Game Day Men's Health. Struggling with low energy, lack of focus, and trouble in the bedroom? You might have low testosterone. Game Day is here to help. They specialize in low T and other treatments just for men, like vitamin therapy, sexual wellness, and weight loss. Best of all, it's quick. Get started in as little as 1 visit. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan to book your free low T test today. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/thefan.
The Buckeye Show.
Like, what will Will do if he's going to be my guy? I think he's for sure going to be the starter. I'm looking for 30 touchdowns. I'm needing to see single-digit interceptions.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at DewOutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
This is Ice-T, repping Raising Cane's Iced Tea, the official iced tea of iced tea. Brewed throughout the day and perfectly poured over Cane's signature crush ice makes Cane's Iced Tea the only iced tea as fresh as me. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your fancy designer half-calf, heavy cream, no-whip, mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save. With a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems in Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, what do you got cooked up today, big dog?
All right, so since we had Joe on today, I think I need to go with something that goes with his little punishment he did for his fantasy football league. And my question will be, tell the truth. If I made you pick your own location to do this 24-hour challenge, take the time off the top of it with what you eat, what place are you going to?
Ooh. I would. Since I like their menu so much, CB, I'm going to go with Roosters. Because I think I could bounce around between the apps and the salad and the chicken wings. Yeah, I think I could get busy in Roosters and do some damage and knock my time down.
So that's the goal, CB, is to get out of there as soon as possible?
I think that should be the motive, yeah.
The motive? I'm getting out of Chipotle. Well, no, Chipotle.
That's heavy.
Well, because a lot of Mexican food would really hurt after a while. Like, that's a lot of dairy.
And the rice.
And it's just, you got to, like, a bowl, that's a lot to reduce 24 hours. I would go with Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would go with Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that because you could roll through, like, you could go nuggets. You could go grilled nuggets. The lighten the load just a little bit.
Yeah. I'll get a shake.
But see, those would be the heavy, like the sandwiches and the shakes that's probably going to get you out of there quicker.
Yeah.
But that's going to be dense, right? That's where you might start to feel a little woozy. I don't think there's an easy answer, but Chick-fil-A, because you also got to go with like something you like, right? Because if you go down the road of Chick-fil-A and you get the nuggets, then you're like, okay, I can go a little Chick-fil-A sauce. I can go barbecue sauce, like to change it up on your palate. So I'm not mad at that. You'll go Chick-fil-A. Yeah. I'll go Roosters.
Just find out right now today is true.
All right, so the summer solstice kind of moves between the 20th and the 22nd, depending on the year. This year it happens to fall on this day, so this is technically the longest day we will see of sunlight here in Columbus this year. The sunset is set for 9:04 p.m. here in the capital city. My question to you is, do you like the late time for the sunset, or do you want it to be earlier in the day if you had to choose?
I do like the extended days. I think for me, I think that's the best part about living in Ohio is the visual season change. And when you were a kid, when I was a kid, being able to stay out longer during this time of year, like I felt like as a kid, this is something I would have knew. Like, oh, today's the longest day in summer. As an adult with bills, stuff you forget. But I would have knew today, and I would have planned accordingly to stay out longer.
Because I think what you were alluding to is, you know, in my household, Mama Hayes said, when you see those street lights come on,
it's time to get
you better bring your butt back in the house.
Absolutely.
So today it would have been one of those days where it's like, hey, man, we're going to the pool.
I'm letting you know now.
We're playing football in the backyard. Like, we are doing it all. However, I was born in the darkness like I'm Batman.
You Bane?
No, I'm not Bane. Bane whooped up on Batman in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I like when the sun goes down a little earlier. I do like that. More, but here's the real answer to this is because I know I'm in the minority. It's more about the fashion. Like, I love fall and winter fashion.
You like to layer up.
I like to layer up. Hoodie, jacket. Like, that's my season right there. So because it's really rooted in that.
Yeah.
I understand people want to get outside and get everything. So, but I'm going to stay in my lane, and probably I'm the only person in that lane. But I'm going to stay over there and get me when it gets darker earlier.
Yeah, I always feel like when I get dressed in the summer, it's just like, this is it. This is it. This is all the drip I got.
It's like a polo and some shoes.
Shirt and a tee.
That's it. Like in the fall, it's like, man, I could jean jacket.
Yeah.
You can go a whole bunch. So that's where I'm at.
I'm with you.
Why would you worry?
All right, today's fan poll, the question is, which of the following listed Ohio State football games will have the narrowest margin this season? Is it at Oregon, at Penn State, or home versus Michigan?
Ooh, I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's at home versus Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can never underestimate a rivalry game. After dropping 3 in a row, there's no way for me, the players, they to be like, we about to blow these boys out. I mean, you want that to happen.
Right.
But it's a rivalry game, and I think this Oregon game going to get ugly. I think it's going to really be Ohio State's opportunity to show, like, all this hype, like we're for real.
Welcome to the Big Ten.
We're for real.
Yeah, welcome to the Big Ten.
Here.
You know, we had Cam Mellor on earlier, who covers college football for the College Football Network. He agrees with you on Oregon that they'll be good, but maybe they're a little overhyped. You know, what you said I've heard from players for years, just listening to you guys talk, is, you know, when you get to that game, kind of the throw the record out type of vibe, right? Yeah. But I'm going to go with Oregon, and here's why.
Okay.
It's early in the schedule.
Okay.
And I think there's still maybe some wrinkles that need to get ironed out. And when you go out to that environment, it could get a little tough. So I'm going to go with, give me the Ducks and give me Eugene. I'll go with Oregon.
How do you think all the coaches are going to take Danny Lanning's personality? Like, how are Kurt Friend's going to look at Danny Lanning?
He seems like a guy that can ruffle some feathers.
He will piss you
Because
off.
here's the thing. It's easy to have that, or it's easier to have that pregame rah-rah speech you had against a Colorado team you're no doubt better than.
Like Luke Fickle. Is Luke going to put Danny? You know what I mean?
Are you going to keep that same energy when things balance out? So I'm glad you brought that up. And it's something to watch that Dan Lanning, based off his personality, and look, I'm sure it's going to work for him on the recruiting trail and in games. But some other coaches, you know, when you see him at the Big Ten meetings and all that,
they're going to be like,
we're not having dinner. We're not having dinner with Dan Lanning.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, final question. Yesterday I brought up the rookie wide receiver that will have the biggest impact this upcoming season. This time, tell the truth, which rookie running back will have the biggest impact in their first season?
If the recovery is going well, I'm going with Jonathan Brooks in Carolina. Jonathan Brooks in Carolina, he was at Texas last year, had the ACL injury. That's a massive if. I get that, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Brooks because I think Dave Canales is going to slow things down a little bit for Bryce Young.
Man, I'll be honest.
You got Trey Benson in Arizona. You got Blake Corum with the Rams. You got him out there. I mean, a couple guys. Trey Benson, I kind of like, especially with James Conner getting a little older. Maybe he can carve out.
I got my rookie running back, Braylon Allison, the Jets.
Oh, Braylon Allen from Wisconsin.
Braylon Allen, Jet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Braylon Allen, the Jets. I like that. Dude is a man-child.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And he got number 0. He looks scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
The truth shall set you free.
If you missed Cam Mellor talking all things college football, let me try that again. Joe DeLeone talking NFL draft, and he was also the guy that had to do the fantasy football punishment sitting in McDonald's for 24 hours, or the Hall of Famer Carl Eller, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Those interviews and a lot more will be there waiting for you. Depot, as always, appreciate you filling in, big dog.
Man, appreciate you having me, man. Columbus, love you.
CB, great job on the board, folks. Thanks so much for your time. We will be back tomorrow at high noon. It's been Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. This is a Fan Action Update.
This NFL Action Update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling promo code 1-800-GAMBLER. The Atlanta Falcons have the best odds to win the NFC South at -115. Their odds to make the playoffs this season are -230 to make and 2-1 to miss. Over-under season win total sits at 9.5 games. And the Falcons are 24-1 to win the Super Bowl. Good for a tie for the 10th best odds in the NFL. For your Tipico Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Life. It's full of strange twists and unexpected surprises. But at AAA, it's always been our policy to look on the plus side. And our AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin, for example. Last Monday, his morning coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. Ouch! It was just the jolt of energy he needed to start the day. Later, when his shirt was targeted by the mustard on his burger, he became a proud trendsetter.
Martin, looking good.
And when he walked face first into a sparkling glass door, he was happy to provide some much-needed entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And of course, when his car battery took early retirement, Martin felt no resentment. He knew there was a plus side. AAA's expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA. Are you in a safe location?
While we can't all be like Martin, we can become a AAA Plus member and experience the peace of mind that comes with living on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from the other window place.
Wilson, what's with the magic wand?
I'm trying to make our screens do that vanishing thingy yours do.
You mean the disappearing roll screens? Where the screen is there if you want it, or retracts and disappears if you don't?
Yeah, now, Is that done with real magic?
No, it's not.
So I should probably take back the wizard's robe.
Yeah, I would. Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Whether you're popping the question or ready to say I do, there's only one true jeweler to shop for your one true love. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. As a true jeweler, we not only have luxury designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. For more than 75 years, our expert staff has been caring for couples just like you and providing the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. Visit the Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center. The possibilities are endless.
Don't miss a minute of the action on the Diamond with ESPN Bet. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities, including daily odds boost and home run specials all season long. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.